Balance of Nature selects only the highest quality ripened fruits and vegetables with all of their phytochemicals and no substitutes. In today's modern diet, it is essential to add Balance of Nature to your life.
With the tremendous success of Dr. Howard's free set of fruits and veggies giveaway and the 120-day health challenge, this holiday season we are doubling down. Call now and see how you can get your free month supply of fruits and veggies, plus a month's supply of fiber and spice, free.
Call 800-2468-751. That's 800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com.
Use promo code CHICAGO.
What's happening? What does it mean? Why is it important? We've got the answer. AM 560, The Answer. WIND, Chicago.
Fox News Radio. I'm Dave Anthony.
We are going to say Merry Christmas again.
President-elect Trump standing in front of 2 Christmas trees, thanking voters in Wisconsin.
It's time to help get Americans off of welfare and back into the labor market.
And he talked up his pick for Secretary of State, Rex Tillerson.
People are looking at this resume, and honestly, they've never seen a resume like this before.
He says the ExxonMobil CEO will help reverse years of foreign policy blunders, though Democrats and some Republicans have concern about Tillerson's strong relationship with Russia.
And Mr. Trump will announce 2 other cabinet selections in the next several days. Former Texas Governor Rick Perry is expected to be nominated as the Secretary of Energy, a department he once said he would get rid of if he were elected president. And Montana Republican Congressman Ryan Zinke is expected to be nominated for Secretary of the Interior.
Fox's Garrett Tenney. A ceasefire just worked out in Syria yesterday has ceased. There are multiple reports of heavy fighting again around Aleppo. Fox's Jessica Gallagher live in our Middle East Bureau.
Dave, the ceasefire between Syrian government and rebels in Aleppo faltered, which has threatened plans to evacuate tens of thousands of civilians and the opposition who want to leave the besieged city. The removal was supposed to start at dawn local time, but shelling resumed and buses returned to their depots due to the fighting. Syrian government forces struck the last remaining rebel-held districts, according to activists and the opposition. This as Moscow maintains rebels violated the truce. Dave.
Jessica, prosecutors expect to call their final witnesses today at Dylan Roof's trial in South Carolina. He's the white man facing federal hate crimes charges in the murder of 9 black worshipers shot during a Charleston church Bible study last year. Alan Thicke has died. Best remembered for being the dad on that 80s show Growing Pains. His pop star son, Robin Thicke, says his dad was the greatest man he ever met and tells the LA Times the 69-year-old Thicke suffered a heart attack playing hockey. Fox News Radio, fair and balanced.
Mostly clear skies this morning. We have 5 degrees, 5:02 on AM 560. The Answer, good morning. I'm Mike Scott. Folks, outside today, better bundle up. Bitter, cold temperatures slamming Chicagoland. In fact, the entire upper Midwest. National Weather Service says area temps will only reach the teens, wind chills in the minus figures most of the day. The entire upper Midwest is in a deep freeze, and there are cautions this morning from forecasters and medical professionals who say the wind chills, when it gets this cold, can cause frostbite to exposed skin in as little as 30 minutes. Prosecutors in Lake County say Officer Joe Glinowitz's wife shared in his criminal conspiracy, so she should share in the responsibility. Lake County State's Attorney's Office asking a judge to move ahead with charges against Melody Glinowitz for money laundering and other crimes. Police say her husband stole from the local police Explorer program, and the family greatly benefited. Mayor Emanuel tapping Ana Valencia to serve as Chicago's new city clerk, replacing Susana Mendoza, the newly elected state comptroller. Charges are pending following an armed bank robbery in Skokie. Robbery happened yesterday at a First Bank and Trust branch on Skokie Boulevard. Training underway for a new group of Chicago police officers. Mayor Emanuel and Superintendent Eddie Johnson spoke to the cadets yesterday at the Academy's first day of training on the west side. Recruits are part of the mayor's plan to hire 1,000 new officers over the next 2 years. An Indiana judge has sentenced a 35-year-old man to 40 years in prison for the death of his 5-year-old son, who was found bound and beaten. The Lake County judge, Clarence Murray, on Tuesday said the child was tortured. Leon Burns was given credit for time served. The plea agreement came after 6 years of delays and continuations. A 26-year-old has changed his plea to guilty for helping a cousin and the cousin's girlfriend kill the woman's mother in Indonesia by texting tips from 9,000 miles away here in Chicago. Robert Bibbs pleaded guilty yesterday in federal court to conspiracy to commit foreign murder of a U.S. national. He'll be sentenced on March 23. And this morning, the University of Notre Dame has announced it has reached a deal with the city of South Bend, allowing the school to operate a hydroelectric power station on the St. Joseph River. It's a 50-year lease approved Monday, authorizing Notre Dame to build the station on and beneath a dam in downtown South Bend. It will generate nearly 10% of Notre Dame's electricity needs when it comes online in early 2019. NBA, Timberwolves over the Bulls, 99-94 in the return of Tom Thibodeau to the United Center. Blackhawks look sharp. They beat the Rangers 2-1. The news service of Let Us Entertain You give a gift that fits all appetites. A Let Us Entertain You gift card. Receive a free $25 holiday bonus for every $100 in Lettuce gift cards you buy. Simply visit a Lettuce restaurant or LEYE.com. 5:05 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Dennis Prager says it's hard to undo the damage from the left.
Many people on the left really do believe what they believe. There is a sincerity of belief.
The truth is, it's a big part of the problem.
So it's very, very difficult to undo the damage of beliefs that are utterly false.
The Dennis Prager Show, weekdays at 11, right before Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
You're never too old to learn something new, especially when it concerns your golden years. Join North Shore Capital Group at their retirement educational classes held at local colleges in your community. Each class is an interactive workshop that's held over 2 sessions and includes a workbook for you to keep and follow. Instructor Victor Rigoni will provide you with the tools and guidance to help you reach your personal finance retirement goals. At the end of the full class, you'll receive an opportunity to book an independent, complimentary consultation so that you can implement a proper retirement strategy. It's never too late to educate yourself about retirement. Call North Shore Capital Group, 312-260-7929. That's 312-260-7929 to find a workshop near you. North Shore Capital Group Incorporated, an independent firm with securities offered through Summit Brokerage Services, Inc., member FINRA SIPC, and advisory services offered through Summit Financial Group, Inc., a registered investment advisor. 847-735-9200, 250 East Illinois Road, Suite 201, Lake Forest, Illinois, 60045.
Hi, it's Amy Jacobson and Dan Proft here from Chicago's Morning Answer.
We're partnering with Food for the Poor to help raise money to provide food and water to impoverished children and families in Haiti and Guatemala. As you probably know, when Hurricane Matthew rolled through Haiti a few months ago, it decimated a country that was already the poorest nation in the Western Hemisphere. The need right now is overwhelming.
Food for the Poor is one of America's largest and most trusted charities. Since 1982, they've been helping the poorest of the poor by directing resources directly to those in the greatest need. And 95 cents of every dollar they receive goes directly to the field, helping children and families.
Here's how you can help. A donation of $50 will provide food for a year and water for life for a child in Haiti. $50. That's all it takes to change a life.
To make that gift this Christmas season, just call 855-880-3663. That's 855-880-3663, or go online and visit 560theanswer.com and search for the keyword food.
If you're fortunate enough to have an IRA, 401k, or other qualified plan, you also have a tax problem. For example, a $1 million IRA is really worth as little as $600,000 after taxes. Do you really want to give $400,000 or more of your hard-earned retirement savings to the IRS? Most investors and even financial advisors have no idea that a tax-free, market risk-free solution approved by the federal government has been available for more than 15 years. Known as an IRA reboot, it provides tax-free lifetime income and a death benefit for beneficiaries. It can even be used to cover college costs or provide long-term care, all without risk from market losses. And unlike an IRA or 401k, there are no limitations on the amount you can contribute. For your free illustration and financial analysis, a $399 value, call Kelly Financial Services at 708-576-8999. That's 708-576-8999 today.
The most recent U.S. Supreme Court decision on the Affordable Care Act made one thing certain. We will all have to deal with this ever-changing law until at least 2017. If you're tired of calling a bureaucrat at an 800 number to help you navigate Obamacare, then you need a local expert on your side. That's right, your own health insurance mentor. C. Stephen Tucker from healthinsurancementors.com is someone I know and trust. He's a 20-year licensed broker who's been educating AM 560 listeners on the Affordable Care Act for the last 5 years.
Thanks, Dan. From now until January 31st, you cannot be denied coverage based on a pre-existing condition. Aetna, Coventry, United Healthcare, and Harkin Health no longer offer health insurance subsidies even if you qualify. One company still does, and they still offer plans that provide access to Northwestern Memorial, University of Chicago, and Rush University Medical Centers. Call me. I can help.
Thanks, Steve. How can our listeners get in touch with you?
They can visit healthinsurancementors.com or call me directly at 630-674-1551. That's 630-674-1551.
Let's get an update on the roads, and we do that this early morning in our AM 560 traffic center where the fires are burning brightly. We're shaking our hands this morning, Jim Talamonte. Chilly out there.
Yes, Mike. Again, have those winter preparedness kits ready. Be prepared for anything you might encounter, even in an urban area. And there are crashes. One on the outbound Kennedy at Division. It's off to the side. No delay to report. Also on the inbound Stevenson at the Tri-State, there's a crash. This now has only one left lane blocked. Might prepare to slow down approaching that one. And there is a collision as well on inbound I-57 north of 119th. Actually, that's a stall blocking the right lane. You'll have concerts tonight at the United Center and Allstate Arena. Traffic service at Walmart. Christmas is here and you still have names on your list. It's not too late to get the hottest gifts, such as the Fitbit Charge 2 at Walmart. Order by 6 p.m. December 23rd. Free pickup Christmas Eve. 4-hour minimum for order processing, subject to store availability. Christmas better. Save money, live better. Walmart. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer starts next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the aircomfort.com Weather Center, here's our meteorologist, Kevin Snyder.
Wind chill advisory in effect from 9 p.m. this evening until 10 a.m. tomorrow. For today, becoming windier and frigid with sun and clouds. Extreme cold can be dangerous for outdoor activities. High today, 16. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
Currently 5 above at O'Hare, 9 above along the lakefront. It is 2 above this morning in Aurora. Your next news update, 5:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy starts now on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Saul Z and the Z Team Realty. They guarantee to sell your home in 59 days or they'll sell it for free. Log on to callsaul.net for details.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy, and remembering Mr. Seaver. That's how I'll remember him. You'll probably, as someone who is...
a great composer.
Oh, you're going to remember him as a great composer?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought maybe you'd go with Thick of the Night, right? His talk show, his short-lived late-night talk show.
That was from 1980 to 1983.
We're fortunate to have in studio the definitive Alan Thicke biographer this morning.
Canadian-born actor, but he was more than just an actor.
He was also Robin Thicke's dad.
Right, but he's father of 3 boys. Playing hockey with his 19-year-old son when he died yesterday of a massive heart attack in Los Angeles. But there's...
Look great.
Do you want to go with what happened yesterday first or his stellar career?
Well, I mean, let's just say it. Look great. 69 years old. Look great. Great hair.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And great. And everybody in L.A. loved him. Like everyone in the industry loved Alan Thicke.
And, of course, Growing Pains, he launched the careers of a Kirk Cameron.
Yeah.
Of a Leo DiCaprio.
Yeah.
As Al Gore would say. Tracy Gold. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Joanna Kern.
But he was a composer. He wrote the theme song to Wheel of Fortune, Different Strokes.
Wow, John Williams.
Yeah.
Quality.
Yeah.
Different Strokes.
Mm-hmm. Different Strokes. Do you know the song? You take the good, you take the bad, you take them both, and there you have. Oh, that's the facts
of life. Yeah. I was wondering when you were going to get to the. Yeah.
All right, so listen to this.
You want to try that again?
Okay. What is different?
What you talking about, Amy?
Different strokes, different strokes. I don't know.
Move to the beat of just one drum. Might be right for you. May not be right for some. A man is.
He said banana. Whenever you don't know the word, say banana.
They got nothing but the dream.
They got different strokes. They got different strokes. It takes different strokes to rule the world as it does.
That's the. All right, that's enough difference. I mean, especially since we're mangling Alan Thicke's good work.
But
what
you talking about?
This reminds me now.
He's from Zion, Illinois.
Waxing nostalgic about Dana Plato.
Yeah.
Had a little crush on Dana Plato.
She gone. I'm sorry to tell. I don't know. If
Gary
you know.
Coleman.
He died too. From Zion, Illinois.
Conrad Bain, Mr. Drummond.
Oh, he's gone too.
Abraham the Fish.
Oh, don't tell me Abraham died.
He also has passed on.
All right, so Alan Thicke playing hockey with his youngest son, 19-year-old Carter, and was feeling chest pain, so he got, set
Had a
out
kid
for...
at 50.
Yeah. Oh, there's still hope for you, Danny boy. And was feeling chest pain, so the rink manager spoke to Inside Edition, because I watched this stuff so you don't have to.
Yes.
And said they had a feeling he was having a heart attack, but he was still talking, he was still conscious. Paramedics came, got him on the gurney, gave the thumbs up when he was leaving, and somewhere between the ice rink and the hospital, he died. I think there's going to be a malpractice lawsuit.
Oh, my gosh.
I think there's a conspiracy
in
going
lieu
on.
of facts, let's fill in the blanks with a conspiracy. And then they murdered him in the ambulance on the way to the hospital.
No,
Okay.
I don't understand.
Well,
His
I understand
ex-wife-
you're coping
yeah.
with the loss, but
And his ex-wife, they all spent Thanksgiving together because even though they were divorced, they're still, a tight-knit family.
nobody could stay mad at Alan Thicke, not even his ex-wife.
And what am I going to do if the IRS comes knocking? Alan Thicke here. Those commercials.
No, the
I love those
infomercials
stories.
he does.
Yeah, but if the IRS calls, don't talk to him. Call my guy instead.
Yeah. Well, he died doing what he loved to do, play hockey with his
Well,
son, and that's a great way to go. Like, I hope to die smoking and drinking, and I probably will.
Oh my gosh, alone.
Yes.
We'll have to do we'll have to do a well-being
What
check.
I like to do, right? Yes.
Where's Dan? I don't know.
Nobody's
Where's
seen him
his friends?
Nobody's seen him for months.
What friends?
Yes, that's how it's going to go.
But it reminds me of Darian Chapman, my friend Darian Chapman from NBC. He was
The
playing
sports
hockey.
anchor guy.
Yeah, he was playing hockey too, and he's felt tightening in the chest. And
But he was a young man.
yeah, he was 29.
Yeah, that's it's young.
Well, why don't you guys wake up and maybe get your hearts checked? I'm just saying. I get mine checked routinely. You? Oh wait, do you have a heart?
Yeah, they need to check for a heart with me.
It's news, opinion, insight. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Well, we have an Arctic blast. That's for sure. It is, with the factor in the wind chill, it's in the single digits right now. A high today of just 16 degrees. We have wind chill warning
Make sure
beginning.
to cover your extremities when you go out. Don't make trips outside unless absolutely necessary.
Check on your elderly neighbors.
Yes.
So, Dan, I'm going to be
or
checking
your
on
lonely neighbors who smoke and drink at 9:30 in the morning.
I'm going to be checking on you later to make sure you're okay. And carry a blanket in your car. I bet you don't even have a blanket in your car, do you?
I don't.
What about a blanket?
I don't have that either.
All right, and then tomorrow it's going to still be extremely cold. Wind chills minus 20, below zero. So we have to hunker down for the next few days. Let's get the latest on the roadways. Here's Jim Telemonte.
Good morning, Amy and Dan. And things do break down on these conditions on Metra's BNSF line. We've got delays already due to mechanical issues. Train 1202 due downtown at 6 this morning. It's going to be at least 15 to 20 minutes behind. Keep an eye on the trains behind that one. A couple of crashes on the expressways have cleared up. There was one on the Kennedy at Division, one on the Stevenson at the Tri-State. They're gone. The inbound Bishop Ford got a little congestion now from Cottage Grove to the Ryan. Nothing too bad elsewhere other than the cold. I'm Jim Talamonte in the AM 560 Traffic Center.
Hi, it's Amy Jacobson and Dan Proft here from Chicago's Morning Answer.
We're partnering with Food for the Poor to help raise money to provide food and water to impoverished children and families in Haiti and Guatemala. As you probably know, when Hurricane Matthew rolled through Haiti a few months ago, it decimated a country that was already the poorest nation in the Western Hemisphere. The need right now is overwhelming.
Food for the Poor is one of America's largest and most trusted charities. Since 1982, they've been helping the poorest of the poor by directing resources directly to those in the greatest need. And 95 cents of every dollar they receive goes directly to the field, helping children and families.
Here's how you can help. A donation of $50 will provide food for a year and water for life for a child in Haiti. $50. That's all it takes to change a life.
To make that gift this Christmas season, just call 855-880-3663. That's 855-880-3663. 3663 or go online and visit 560theanswer.com and search for the keyword food.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I feel like at least 50% better so far. I'm not as fatigued because I do construction work, so I normally get knocked around a lot. And I'm like 60 plus years old, and I'm still doing it. And I can start beating guys half my age now.
With the tremendous success of Dr. Howard's free set of fruits and veggies giveaway and the 120-day health challenge, this holiday season we are doubling down. Call now and see how you can get your free month supply of fruits and veggies, plus a month's supply of fiber and spice, free. Give the gift of health to yourself and loved ones, perhaps the greatest gift you'll ever give.
Call 800-2468-751. That's 800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com.
Use promo code Chicago.
AM 560, The Answer.
Is this be a hard day today?
I mean, this remix version of Growing Pains
with the son's song.
Is this Robin Thicke doing it? Who's doing this?
Some DJ in LA.
This is awesome.
Worked all night on this, I'm sure.
This actually could be like a top 40 pop hit, the way it's remixed.
Oh, I'm sure it will be. We're going to start it right here.
Yeah. All right, now do Facts of Life. Let's do a Facts of Life remix. I'll say, wiki, go.
You take the good, you take the bad, you take them both, and there you have. Are you going to join in? The Facts of Life.
The Facts of Life.
The Facts of Life.
The Facts of Life.
There's a time you got to grow and show you're growing. Now you know about the facts of life.
The Facts of Life.
The facts of life. When the world never seems to believe in up to your dreams. And suddenly you're finding out the facts of life are all about you.
No, that's good. That's very good.
Thank you.
Just the facts, man. Alan Thicke also composed that theme song. Yeah, he also composed that theme song, Tootie.
Yeah, so he's going to, I'm sure his wife, ex-wives, or whoever was involved with him will be financially sustained for years to come with all of his royalties. Oh, 3 wives? Oh, wait, Mike, can you?
Yeah, I believe, I'll double check my sources, 3 ex-wives.
Mm.
Well, yeah. He got around.
I mean, so does the president. The president has 2.
3.
Wait, no.
Yes.
He's on his 3rd wife.
He's on his 3rd wife.
Yeah, he's 2
5
ex-wives.
kids with 3 wives. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So, if the president can have 2, I don't think could have 3. Speaking of the president, he met with Kanye West yesterday. That was happening right after we got off right as we got off the air because
why? Yeah.
Because orange is the new black. Hi-oh.
Well, it's newly blonde Kanye West.
No, orange. Trump is the new black.
Oh,
you see that?
Did you see him giving the bro hug? He's down with the people. He's down with the struggle. Man, I'll see you later, bud.
Kanye West
grip.
They also both enjoy tweeting. Kanye West tweeted, "I wanted to meet with Trump today to discuss multicultural issues." Hilarious. Then he tweeted, "These issues included bullying, like Gooch in different strokes, supporting teachers, modernizing curriculums, and violence in Chicago."
He went as an ambassador to us, Dan.
There's no more important voice on K through 12 reform than Kanye West.
39-year-old, though, he recently got out of the Ronald Reagan UCLA Medical Center in Los Angeles.
The Ronald Reagan Home for the Criminally Insane from Airplane.
For stress and exhaustion. Here's the thing, though. They sold TMZ a picture, or TMZ bought one of the pictures for $10,000, a picture of Trump and Kanye and Ivanka. Did Kanye go there to tell the world he's okay? And that he's mentally sane now.
Well,
everything's going to be okay.
Here's how Trump
or to make money.
characterized their confab.
Just friends, just friends. Good man.
Good man.
Long time. Friends for a long time.
What did you discuss, Mr.
Life.
Yeah, good man. Good man. Just friends. Talked about life.
Just friends. Nothing's going on here. We're just friends.
Yeah,
I mean, that's reserved for women who hang out with guys that they really like. They're like, oh, we're just friends.
It's platonic between Trump and Kanye. I mean, this is a rite of passage for a president. I mean, Obama met with Kanye a couple times. Called him a jackass, I think, once.
But this is. Oh, sorry.
And so now. I mean, look. I despise politics as celebrity. And that's part of what you're going to get with Trump. So just get used to it. So DiCaprio comes in, and then he nominates Pruitt, and Kanye comes in, and then we're going to talk about Tillerson.
I mean, but so if you think about what happened within 2 hours or even an hour of his day, he announced a key cabinet position. He met with a former political rival, Perry, and then a rapper, all before 10 a.m. But my member of the military, the family member that I have that served, was so upset. He said, "Wait, he won't take daily intel briefings, but yet he'll meet with Kanye West, a rapper." Yeah. And that doesn't sit well with a lot of people. And by the way, a newly blonde Kanye West.
He's also not
trying to be blonde like
he's
us.
also not the president of the United States at this juncture regarding those daily intelligence estimates. Oh, and this, a reminder, because on this show we have institutional memory. You're not going to get that on virtually any other show, and I'm including the cable news networks, including Fox, for most of them. You know, the exceptions are Neil Cavuto, or Charles Payne. Intelligence briefings?
Yes.
Mark Thiessen reporting in the Washington Post in September of 2012. President Obama is touting his foreign policy experience on the campaign trail, but startling new stats suggest that national security has not necessarily been the personal priority the president makes it out to be. It turns out that more than half the time, the commander-in-chief does not attend his daily intelligence meeting.
Dun, dun, dun.
Well, I mean, okay, so you know, for I know the left is looking for things to grab onto so they can do what they do, which is preen and be morally outraged. That's the only time they're moral, and so that's fine. I expect it, but you just better cover your flank, because if you want to set a standard for Trump, you better see how that standard you suggest he abide has been abided previously. And I'm not suggesting, by the way, that Obama is the standard for anything. I'm just suggesting those who were in the tank for Obama and see, Syria as another great Obama success story after Aleppo just fell. And Assad is going to be there forever after committing genocide in his country and using chemical weapons against his own people and erasing that dusty red line that Obama drew. And where is Russia at present with all of the caterwauling about Putin? Nobody has enabled Putin more than President Obama. So if you want to set these standards for Trump, fine, let's set a standard, but let's understand who has abided the standard you're setting now in the past and who has not.
My suggestion for Donald Trump, don't tell people. We don't need to know everything. Every interview, he discloses so much. Keep some things close to the vest. I mean,
why?
America, we don't need to know that he doesn't go to daily intel briefings, and our enemies don't certainly need to know. But the problem that I had with it was his tone.
If something should change from this point, immediately call me. I'm available on 1 minute's notice.
Yeah.
I don't have to be told, I'm like a smart person. I don't have to be told the same thing and the same words every single day for the next 8 years.
Let's see.
I'm a smart person. Do smart people go around telling people that they're smart? I mean, you're smart, Dan. Do you go around saying, I'm a smart person?
No, that whole, there's just, look, the psychoanalysis on Trump, the need for, constant affirmation and, trying to persuade you the things he wants to be. And I'm not saying he's not, but I mean, I'm a smart person. I'm this, I'm that. Usually when people are telling you what they are, they're telling you what they are not.
Okay.
So I agree with that. But look, General Mattis and General Kelly and
Jeff
his
Flynn.
whole his whole
Flynn
national
goes to the Daily
his
Briefing.
whole national security team. I mean, let's not get too overwrought about this. And oh, by the way, I mean, just to round it out, you've got Ryan Zink, friend of the show. We've talked to Ryan Zink before. So it was reported earlier, and we talked about it yesterday. We reported yesterday that it appeared that Catherine McMorris Rogers, the congresswoman from Kathy McMorris Rogers, I guess is what she goes by, congresswoman from Washington State, was going to be the Interior Secretary. Nope. It appears now it's going to be first freshman. I guess he'll now be in the midst of his second term. He would be. Republican congressman from Montana, Ryan Zink, who is a Navy SEAL and who served on the House Natural Resources Committee, is going to be the Secretary of the Interior. The report by Fox News that Zink has been offered the cabinet post and has accepted it.
Listen to podcasts of Dan and Amy from the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Are you taking Viagra for ED? Now you can get sildenafil, the active ingredient in Viagra, and generic 20 milligrams for $2 per tablet. That's a savings of $40 per dose. Marley Drug is a North Carolina pharmacy delivering generic sildenafil to your door. For information on sildenafil, go to marleygenerics.com or call us at 800-452-1760. That's 1-800-452-1760.
Hey, Craig and Leslie here from In the Know. Leslie and I wanted to take a moment to wish you and your families a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Aw, Craig, that's so sweet. And it's also true. We truly are grateful when you make the choice to work with us.
We hope you make a resolution to consider Wealth Management Group as your financial partner in 2017.
When making any big decisions concerning your financial future, choose us, Wealth Management Group, and listen to In the Know Sunday mornings at 10, right here on AM 560, The Answer. Merry Christmas.
AM 560, The Answer.
Here's another.
Dance party all day, remembering Alan Thicke.
Yeah.
He composed this song, Wheel of Fortune theme song. There's so many. I mean, we could talk about him for hours, but we won't.
We'll have you sing the Wheel of Fortune theme song a little bit later. All right, coming up at 5:38, Trump meets with Silicon Valley tech execs today. Well, that should be interesting. We'll get a little preview based on what Bill Gates had to say coming up.
And later, yes, Pink is finally out of the NFL. But first, into the newsroom we go. Here's Mike Scott.
8 degrees. White House says the ongoing bloodshed in Aleppo is troubling. Josh Earnest blaming the regime of Syrian President Bashar al-Assad, noting that Assad is backed by Russia and Iran. Said the ongoing violence and the collapse of another ceasefire in Aleppo is a humanitarian disaster. Donald Trump hosting a summit today with top executives from the tech industry, Apple, Microsoft, Facebook, Cisco, IBM, among others. President-elect Donald Trump says his pick for Secretary of State will fight for America.
Rex will be a fierce advocate for America's interests around the world and has the insights and talents necessary to help reverse years of foreign policy blunders and disasters.
Trump on his latest stop on his thank you tour in Wisconsin last night. Meantime, the president-elect is reportedly choosing Montana Congressman Ryan Zinke to head up the Interior Department. Democrats are scrambling again, trying to find leadership. Senator Bernie Sanders says because of that, it is time to completely transform the Democratic Party.
We need to transform the party. We need to make the Democratic Party a Democratic Party with a small d. So all of you, come on in. We need your help.
On Late Night with Seth Meyers, Sanders says it's time to welcome young and working-class folks back into the Democratic Party to bring real change. Television star Alan Thicke is dead. Family publicist confirming the 69-year-old Thicke passed away due to a heart attack. Thicke suffered that heart attack while playing hockey with his 19-year-old son. Bitter temps here in the upper Midwest puts us in the deep freeze. You know what to do. Prosecutors in Lake County say Officer Joe Glenowitz's wife shared in his criminal conspiracy, so she should share in the responsibility. Lake County State's Attorney's Office is asking a judge to move ahead with charges against Melody Glenowitz. Food giant ConAgra paying for a salmonella outbreak that sickened hundreds of Americans 10 years ago, including many in the state of Illinois. The president of ConAgra pleaded guilty in federal court on the company's behalf to a misdemeanor charge of shipping adulterated food. And former Chicago Public Schools CEO Arnie Duncan now back living in Hyde Park. Tribune says Duncan spent over $1 million on the home from Chasing Vermeer author Elizabeth Balliet. Duncan returned to Chicago earlier this year after serving as President Obama's Secretary of Education. NBA last night, Bulls lost to Tom Thibodeau and the Minnesota Timberwolves, 99-94. NHL, the Central Division leading Blackhawks, winners over the Rangers, 2-1. The news, a service of Subway. Purchase a $25 gift card from Subway restaurants this holiday season and receive a free 6-inch sub on your next visit. Limited time only, additional charge for extras, including deluxe subs, plus applicable tax. Prices and participation vary. 5:34 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Sean Hannity explains how Trump is already bringing in jobs.
Donald Trump announced that SoftBank of Japan is going to invest $50 billion into the United States, and they're going to create 50,000 jobs here in the United States. It's called a telephone. It's called effort. It's called attitude.
The Sean Hannity Show. Afternoons at 2, right before Joe Walsh at 5 on AM 560. The Answer.
It's Galaxy's free sale. Free installation, free design, and free financing.
773-783-8300. Call Galaxy.
My daughter started school, and I find myself worrying if she is getting home safe while I'm still at work. I wish I could check up on her.
Alarm Detection Systems offers remote control of your security system from your phone. Get text or video alerts when someone's at your door. ADS is an authorized Honeywell equipment dealer. Visit adsalarm.com or call 630-844-6300. Alarm license number 127000143.
Our neighbor had thousands of dollars in flood damage and lost several items that are irreplaceable. Is there a security solution to receive early warning of an event like this?
Of course. Alarm Detection Systems has flood detection systems alerting you when water gathers in your home, giving you time to react. ADS is an authorized Honeywell equipment dealer. Visit adsalarm.com or call 630-844-6300. Alarm license number 127000143.
5:36, let's check the roads in our AM 560 traffic center with Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. Got some delays on the train lines this morning. When it gets this cold, you have some mechanical issues, and that's the case on Metra's Union Pacific West line and the BNSF line. There's some delays, no more than about 20 minutes worth at the moment. Edens has no delays right now. The Kennedy just fine. About Eisenhower, heavy 17th to Des Plaines Avenue. 30 minutes, Thorndale to the post office downtown. Outbound fine at 29. Inbound Stevenson, a little heavy past Pulaski. Inbound Rhine, got a 3-minute delay from Cermak into downtown. Bishop Ford, about a 6-minute delay starting around Stony Island. Traffic service of Let Us Entertain You. Give the gift that fits all appetites. A Let Us Entertain You gift card. Receive a free $25 holiday bonus for every $100 in lettuce gift cards you buy. Simply visit a lettuce restaurant or LEYE.com. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the aircomfort.com Weather Center, sun and clouds today. Windier, really frigid late this afternoon. We'll top out at 16, but temperatures will go up and down throughout the day as the winds pick up. Partly cloudy, frigid overnight, low 4 below zero and a high of 7 tomorrow. Currently 5 at O'Hare, 9 along the lakefront. Your next news update is at 6. And Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by the IRS Radio Hour with attorney Stephen Leahy every Sunday afternoon at 5 on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues now. And make sure to stay tuned to catch me, Mike Gallagher, coming up at 9, only on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. So all those Silicon Valley tech sissies Except for Peter Thiel, of course. We're going to meet with Donald Trump today. That should be very interesting, including...
Didn't Peter Thiel arrange the meeting? Because he wanted everybody to smooth everything over because, Silicon Valley has been 100% Trump since the beginning.
100% anti-Trump.
Anti-Trump,
Well, 99.9% Peter Thiel being the exception. But yes, so Apple's Tim Cook, Sheryl Sandberg of Facebook, Elon Musk of Tesla, and SpaceX, Larry Page of Google/Alphabet.
Amazon exec. You know who's not?
Eric Schmidt. I don't think he's... yeah, Bezos is supposed to be there as well.
Yeah.
So it's a meeting of heavyweights.
Guess who's not going to be there?
Jack Dorsey of Twitter.
Twitter. Yeah. Of all the one high-tech, tech-savvy company that you want there in social media is Twitter. Why isn't he going? I mean, Donald Trump loves the tweet.
Yeah, but there's been some acrimony between the two because of Dorsey personally taking an interest in editing or censoring Trump's tweets, and so I don't know. Now it's interesting. I want to get to this because there's a lot here. But one thing that Bill Gates said, he was on CNBC yesterday. A couple things he said about Trump. One in terms of Trump's.
I like trunk.
Trunk or trunk.
Don't trunk me.
Trump's opportunity to be someone who kind of gathers the energies of innovators and really moves America into a new age of innovation. And then he also spoke a little bit about trade policy. Here's Gates on Trump, comparing him to, you ready for this?
Yeah.
JFK.
I had an opportunity to talk to him about innovation. A lot of his message has been about things where he sees things not as good as he'd like, but in the same way that President Kennedy talked about the space mission and got the country behind that, I think that whether it's education or stopping epidemics, other health breakthroughs, finishing polio, and in this energy space, there can be a very upbeat message that his administration is going to organize things, get rid of regulatory barriers, and have American leadership through innovation be one of the things that he gets behind. And, of course, my whole career has been along those lines, and he was interested in listening to that, and I'm sure there'll be further conversation.
Is Bill Gates ever going to go through puberty, do you think?
312-642-5600 is our turnkey.pro answer line.
So it was an optimistic note from Gates, and this is where free market types are. Not that Gates is really, he's a little... But you see the positive with Trump's move to reduce tax burdens, to reduce redundant and counterproductive regulatory burdens, to unleash creative entrepreneurial capitalists. That's the good part. Okay. The challenging part is how his posture, his America First posture on trade is going to work itself out, where there's a piece in the Daily... Where did I see this? There's a piece in the Daily Wire, buy American, hire American. Those are Trump's two directives to companies, if you will. And Gates addresses that issue, particularly as it pertains to China.
I don't think it'd be a good deal to have trade relations between China and the U.S. really fall apart. And so I feel sure that he and the team he brings around them, even as they try and tune things, they won't want the lose-lose that you would get if you start to get large tariff walls. There are challenges. A lot of the strength of the U.S. economy comes from exporters. And, so if you're trying to suppress imports, then you can get into a situation where countries are raising tariff walls. Now, the president-elect is very sophisticated. I hope he's thought through how he's going to get some adjustment there without that typical sort of a tariff tit for tat. The nuclear industry is a great example.
So, this is that's really, both of them are good points. I agree with both of the things that Bill Gates said, and it'll be interesting to see how the meeting goes on those points. By the way, some good news that Trump will derive political benefit from in advance of this meeting today. IBM announcing it's going to hire 25,000 people in the United States over the next 4 years.
Good.
25,000, 6,000 of those hires to be made next year, according to Ginny Rometty, who is the IBM CEO, where my dad worked for 35 years.
Really? What did your dad do there?
He was an instructor on the old mainframes they used to sell, teach business people how to use those old mainframes back in the Stone Age. And IBM is investing $1 billion on employee training and development in the next 4 years, concurrent with bringing on those new workers.
Do you think he's going to try and force, like Timothy Cook of Apple to say, hey, why are you manufacturing the phones overseas, build a plant here and make them in America? Because Apple products are sold around the world.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to get into that level of specificity or to start telling companies how to run their business. I think he's going to be at the 30,000-foot level of here are the principles that are going to frame my administration when it comes to trade policy. Also, importantly, when it comes to immigration. And there's a very good piece in National Review Online today by Jared Carl, who's a research fellow at the Hoover Institution at Stanford. He talks a little bit about the overwhelming opposition of Silicon Valley CEOs to Trump, and it was largely rooted in immigration policy views. Mark Andreessen, the software engineer, venture capitalist, said during the campaign, the Valley wouldn't be here. We wouldn't be doing any of this if we didn't have the amazing flow of immigrants that we've had in the last 80 years. And the idea of choking that off just makes me sick to my stomach. But that's a little bit disingenuous because Trump's not really talking about that. And also Silicon Valley is not having the immigrant experience that is happening in the nation writ large. For example, Asian Americans heavily overrepresented, whites modestly overrepresented, Hispanics and African Americans hardly represented at all. Of the 10 largest companies in Silicon Valley that chose to self-report, all their engineering teams, with the lone exception of Apple, were at least one-third Asian or Asian American, a figure that rose to 60% at LinkedIn. Now, some of them are native-born Asian Americans, but many are immigrants, and most are native-born. Most of the native-born are children of immigrants, of course, as most of us are. But I mean, he's talking about one generation removed. And there's nothing wrong with that, but that's a different experience than is happening writ large. So we can talk about H-1B visas. Carl even suggests things like increasing the prevailing wage for workers coming into the country on H-1B visas. That's a change suggested in Trump's immigration platform, which would ensure that we're bringing the most talented engineers from abroad without lowering the wages or taking jobs away from American workers. It's arguable, but at least it shows some nuanced thinking on the topic. And so I suspect that immigration is going to be a significant part of the conversation. Again, in general terms, not specific. I don't think he's going to get into the day-to-day of any of these big companies or entrepreneurial ventures. But I think there is going to be this discussion about trade policy, but really immigration seems to me central because this is where, their talent pool is the globe, and these Silicon Valley companies don't work if they're not attracting the best and brightest engineers and software developers the world over. That's what I see happening. Now, one point on this, just in terms of the creative destruction, and this is kind of consistent with immigration, but there's just an interesting piece that Mark Perry posted in Carpe Diem, his blog at the American Enterprise Institute. And he looks at Fortune 500 companies in 1955 versus 2016. So over 60 years, Fortune 500 companies, the biggest companies in the country, some of the biggest companies in the world. And he finds that only 60 companies that were in the Fortune 500 in 1955 are still in the Fortune 500 today. 60 companies of 500, obviously, 12%. The point is that through consolidation or creative destruction, to borrow a Schumpeterism, you have and innovation because of, for example, the rise of Silicon Valley. The economy changes. It's not even white collar, blue collar, it's new collar in many cases, right? Jobs that you couldn't have conceived would exist a decade or 2 decades ago. And so this is the economy that we want that's dynamic. And the way to have a dynamic economy where you rise or fall based on the quality of the good or service you're providing, and you have relatively low barriers to entry so that somebody invents a company, starts a company out of their garage and could be in the Fortune 500 in the not too distant future, as has happened. 12% of the Fortune 500 companies in 1955 are still there today. That's an amazing turnover of huge companies. Not to say that all of them dropped out of the Fortune 500, disappeared, but that shows a lot of volatility. And that's good. That's what an entrepreneurial capitalist economy is supposed to have, as you're competing to try and provide the best good or service at reduced prices. And to do that, we need low regulatory burdens. To do that, we need to reduce extracting wealth from these companies through taxation. To do that, we need open markets and the free movement of capital and labor. And I suggest that would be part of this conversation today as well. Larry and Bartlett, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey, good morning, Dan, Amy. Dan, the one thing I don't ever hear talked about when we're talking about the H-1B visas is the biggest reason this country needs them is that our colleges are not turning out engineering students in the quantities that are necessary, nor do we have science, technology, and manufacturing. Nobody wants to go into that, partly because our education system doesn't produce kids that are smart enough to go to college and get those kind of degrees.
Yeah, well, thanks for the call, Larry.
Schools.
Yeah, that's right. Larry's absolutely right about that. And so here's the problem. One of the many problems at K through 12. You've got a third of our most populous cities, a third of the top 50 most populous cities in America with high school graduation rates below 50%. So our urban centers, of course, we're talking about in terms of most populous cities, and a third are not graduating from high school. And even the ones that do, what are they really prepared to do in terms of post-secondary work or the workforce? So, yeah, when you have this is the irony, right?
You do what's easy.
Well,
and that's sell drugs, and there's no taxes to pay.
Well, this is the irony. You have this dynamic economy we're discussing. You have this hyper-competitive entrepreneurial hotbed of activity in Silicon Valley, and they're relying on a centrally planned system to produce the next generation of talent for this hotbed of entrepreneurial competitive capitalism. Those two things do not compute. Maybe we should take the disposition of Silicon Valley, dynamic, entrepreneurial, and apply it to our K through 12 education systems that have been failing for half a century, if not more in some cases. Maybe that should be part of the conversation today as well.
The more you listen, the more you'll know. This is Chicago's Morning Answer. Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Weather, the cold is here. Once you take a step outside, you'll know what I'm talking about. Sunshine today, a few clouds, but becoming windier. Extreme cold. A wind chill warning goes into effect at 9 o'clock this evening. And tomorrow we'll have wind chills in the minus 20 to minus 30 degree range. A low tonight of minus 4, a high today of 16, and a high tomorrow of just 7 degrees. Let's get the travel times. Here's Jim Telemonte.
Amy, these conditions are tough on the trains and on the tracks. We're seeing delays now on the South Shore line. Due to track conditions, the train due in at 6:31 is delayed 20 to 30 minutes. Also some delays on the BNSF and Union Pacific West lines for Metra due to mechanical issues. Edens is fine. Kennedy, little congested onto the River Road toll. Eisenhower's 32 minutes, Thorndale to downtown, outbound 29. Stevenson, 38 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Ryan, 19 minutes, 95th to downtown. Bishop Ford, 23 minutes, 8094 to the Rhine. Tollways, pretty light. That's traffic on AM 560, The Answer.
The website is upstream-ideas.com. Premium content that complements what we do on this show. Long-form interviews with policymakers and opinion leaders, both locally and nationally. Podcasts of our Sunday Illinois Rising program, done in conjunction with the Illinois Policy Institute, which focuses on state of Illinois politics and policy. Commentaries, Man on the Street, Follow the Logic segments, podcasts of interviews that we do on this show as well. It's all at upstream-ideas.com.
My name is David Hochberg, and I'm Vice President Lending at Pearl Mortgage. If you're looking to refinance your existing home to eliminate PMI, give me a call. Joey heard me encouraging borrowers with FHA loans to call me to eliminate PMI and reduce their interest rate, and Joey is ecstatic he did. I helped Joey refinance out of his FHA loan, eliminated his PMI, lowered his rate, paid all his closing costs, and saved him over $250 a month. One phone call to me increased Joey's family's cash flow 3 G's a year. If you have an FHA loan and would like to see if you can eliminate PMI, lower your rate and monthly payments like Joey did, pick up the phone and give me a call now at 312-751-1333 or visit am560david.com. I've helped thousands of AM560 listeners, but I can't help if you don't call 312-751-1333 or visit am560david.com. Pearl Mortgage and Equal Housing Lender, Illinois Residential Mortgage License 4358, RMLA, NMLS 19186.
I know a perfect holiday gift. Did you guess it? Yep, it's MyPillow, and MyPillow will extend the money-back guarantee through March. Plus, if you buy one premium MyPillow, you still get the second one and 2 additional Go Anywhere MyPillows for free. So you're actually getting 2 premium and 2 Go Anywhere MyPillows for the price of one with an extended money-back guarantee. It is the best offer ever. You know, the National Sleep Foundation made MyPillow their official pillow. It's washable to remove germs that cause allergies, acne, and asthma. And you'll sleep better. I know I do. So visit MyPillow.com, click the radio listener special tab, and use the promo code Amy. You'll get 2 premium MyPillows and 2 Go Anywhere pillows for the price of one, plus the extended money-back guarantee through March for your holiday gifts. Or call 800-489-0201. Mention the radio listener special and be sure to use the promo code Amy. That's MyPillow.com or 800-489-0201.
Mike Rowe here for 1 hour. Today, Chuck is jogging in place to make a point about energy efficiency.
I thought I was training for a marathon.
He's been at it now for...
3 minutes.
And already he's wearing out.
I'm not.
Your heating and air conditioning systems are a lot like Chuck.
Warm yet somehow cool?
Wheezing, wasting energy, and probably headed for replacement.
You're talking about the air systems, right?
Sure, pal. Sure. Call 1 hour before it's too late.
Can you do the disclaimer for me?
Each independent franchise is licensed in its respective state or county.
Thanks.
Every Sunday at noon on AM 560, The Answer is reserved for the show about flipping houses and making money in real estate. It's Real Estate Airwaves. This show will give you the inside info you need to find, fund, fix, and flip real estate in today's market. Joshua Ingalls and Vincent Pace share the secrets to minimize risk, maximize profit, and get deals done. Make an appointment for Real Estate Airwaves, Sundays at noon on AM 560. The Answer.
You haven't experienced Christmas until you've experienced the Ron Hawking Christmas Show. Get ready, it's happening Saturday, December 17th at the Fuel Room at Austin Saloon and Eatery in Libertyville. Ron's high-energy holiday performance captivates audiences of all ages with a fusion of unique personality, music, and class.
This is Ron Hawking, and I hope you'll join us on Saturday, December 17th for the Ron Hawking Christmas Show at Austin's.
The Ron Hawking Christmas Show at the Fuel Room at Austin's. Get tickets now at fuelroom.com.
Gather where the season comes to life and celebrate aboard an Odyssey cruise on Lake Michigan. With stunning views, delicious dining, and festive entertainment, December is the perfect time to experience Chicago from the water. Celebrate the holidays with one of their lunch or dinner cruises happening all month long, even on Christmas Eve. Still looking for the perfect New Year's celebration? Begin 2017 with a new perspective. Odyssey is cruising on New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. Learn more about their December holiday cruises and book yours at odyssey.com.
You're on the go, up against life's daily challenges. You're up for that challenge every day, but need to take care of yourself. It's easy to get caught up with your routine and forget how much your body needs to stay properly hydrated to maintain peak performance. From hardworking tradesmen and busy professionals to moms running errands with the kids, many know the advantage to keep up the pace. Introducing MySport. MySport is your key to staying hydrated. Engineered by a bioscience company that knows you want healthier choices, MySport has the best hydration elements. You'll ditch those artificial flavors and heavy syrups and add the benefits of electrolytes, B vitamins, antioxidants, and best of all, get rid of that cloudy excuse for a drink you've been calling refreshing. The clear, healthier choice for hydration your body needs is MySport. Now through December 31st, visit misportdrink.com today and save 25% on all flavors. That's misportdrink.com. For healthier lives, MySport delivers more than hydration. misportdrink.com.
If you're fortunate enough to have an IRA, 401k, or other qualified plan, you also have a tax problem.
For example, a $1 million IRA is really worth as little as $600,000 after taxes. Do you really want to give $400,000 or more of your hard-earned retirement savings to the IRS? Most investors and even financial advisors have no idea that a tax-free, market risk-free solution approved by the federal government has been available for more than 15 years. Known as an IRA reboot, it provides tax-free lifetime income and a death benefit for beneficiaries. It can even be used to cover college costs or provide long-term care, all without risk from market losses. And unlike an IRA or 401k, there are no limitations on the amount you can contribute. For your free illustration and financial analysis, a $399 value, call Kelly Financial Services at 708-576-8999. That's 708-576-8999 today.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
If they were so concerned about Russian hacking, why didn't President Obama and the DNC do something about it months ahead of time? They were warned. We'll ask Michael Rubin from the American Enterprise Institute at 6:06.
And later, yes, it's true, Pink is now gone from the NFL. We'll explain. But first, here's Mike Scott.
Bitter cold hitting Chicagoland this morning. Mayor Emanuel chooses Valencia as his city clerk. Training underway for a batch of new Chicago police officers. Blackhawks edged the Rangers while the Timberwolves topped the Bulls in Tom Thibodeau's return. Sun and clouds in your forecast today. Becoming windier, a frigid day ahead. Full forecast after Fox. WIND Chicago News Time, 6 o'clock.
Fox News Radio. I'm Dave Anthony. President-elect Trump thanks his voters in Wisconsin.
We're going to win so much, you're going to go to Paul Ryan, you're going to go, Mr. Speaker, please, please. We can't stand winning this much.
He also said Speaker Ryan's like a fine wine, appreciating him more over time, and the president-elect praised his pick for Secretary of State as well. Fox's Rachel Sutherland live in Washington.
Dave, Mr. Trump called ExxonMobil CEO Rex Tillerson one of the greatest and most skilled global business leaders of our time.
Made some of the greatest deals ever made in the oil industry or any industry.
This after some prominent Republicans expressed concerns about Tillerson's ties with Russia.
Rex will be a fierce advocate for America's interests around the world.
The Trump transition team has officially announced former Texas Governor Rick Perry will be nominated to lead the Energy Department. Montana Congressman Ryan Zinke, a former Navy SEAL, is reportedly Mr. Trump's choice for Interior Secretary. Dave.
And Rachel, today he'll hold a tech summit with many business leaders who are openly critical of Donald Trump during the campaign. A ceasefire in Syria lasted less than a day. There's renewed fighting around Aleppo. Fox's Jessica Gallagher live in our Middle East Bureau.
Dave, fighter jets have resumed bombing raids over the last remaining rebel strongholds in Aleppo. One media activist claiming the aircraft bombed a rebel district like there was no ceasefire or the evacuation of civilians. This is Tehran is congratulating Syria on driving rebels out of the besieged city. A ceasefire is supposed to be underway so the evacuation of the opposition and thousands of civilians can happen. But due to the fighting, buses meant to evacuate people returned to their depots, Dave.
Jessica, he was the dad on Growing Pains. And the father of pop star Robin Thicke. Alan Thicke has died of an apparent heart attack at age 69. A famed Canadian, Thicke was also a game and talk show host and composer, writing theme songs for sitcoms and game shows. This is Fox News Radio. Fair and balanced.
Skies in Chicago at this moment are cloudy, but we'll have sun and clouds throughout the day. 8 degrees above with a wind chill of 3 below. At 6:02 on AM 560, The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. While much of the upper Midwest is in a deep freeze, with problems on the rails because of that cold. Jim Telemonte will be along in just a moment with an update on disruptions on some rail lines this morning. Prosecutors in Lake County say Officer Joe Glinowitz's wife shared in his criminal conspiracy. So, Melody Glinowitz, they say, should share in the responsibility. Lake County State's Attorney's Office is asking a judge to move ahead with charges against Melody Glinowitz for money laundering and other crimes. Mayor Emanuel taps Ana Valencia to serve as Chicago's new city clerk. Sun-Times says the director of the mayor's office of legislative counsel is replacing Susana Mendoza with Valencia. Training is underway for a group of new Chicago police officers. Mayor Emanuel and Police Superintendent Eddie Johnson spoke to cadets yesterday at the Academy on the city's near west side. Jurors at Chicago's Hobos gang trial have watched chilling video of a boy describing seeing his stepfather shot by someone he called a monster. It was played Tuesday at the trial of 6 alleged gang members. Prosecutors say one, Paris Poe, killed informant Keith Daniels in 2013 as his children watched. Chicago sports, Minnesota beat the Bulls 99-94 on Tom Thibodeau's return to the United Center. Minnesota 24 from Zach LaVine. Central Division leading Blackhawks remain red hot. Artem Anisimov scored the tiebreaker late in the second period. As the Blackhawks were winners 2-1 in the return to the ice of Blackhawk captain Jonathan Taves. The news service of Subway, now at Subway, Wednesday is Turkey Breast Day. That's today's $3.50 6-inch sub of the day. No artificial flavors or colors from artificial sources. Just $3.50. A great sub for a great price. There's a different $3.50 6-inch sub every day, only at Subway. 6:04 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
For me, it never has been about Trump.
The Joe Walsh Show.
For me, it's about the ideas, it's about the issues, it's about the movement. Go ahead and cut whatever deal you want, but when it comes to people in this country illegally, you ran your campaign, sir, on that issue. You can't walk that back.
The Joe Walsh Show. Weeknights starting at 5. Right after Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
Every year, guys open their holiday presents and you hear, "No, really, I love it." That's because finding the perfect gift for guys is hard. Really hard. Thankfully, this year, there's Harry's. Guys everywhere have been flocking to Harry's.com to change the way they shave. This holiday season, impress the guys on your list with a Harry's Holiday Shave Set. All of their holiday shave sets include the finely crafted razors they've become known for, guaranteed to give him the close, comfortable shave he deserves. On top of that, the shave sets also include Harry's highly rated shaving cream, extra blades, and more. Harry's is the gift he'll actually use. And Harry's owns their own factory, so they're able to make high-quality shaving supplies incredibly affordable. You can get Harry's holiday shave sets for every guy on your list this year. You can even add engraved initials to make it more personal. So head over to Harry's.com to get him the gift he'll truly love. Use the code 8811 when you check out, and you'll even get $5 off your first purchase. That's Harry's.com, code 8811.
6:06. Let's get an update on the roads at our AM 560 traffic center with Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. Tri-State Tollway southbound traffic is stop and go from 176 to Bradley Road. Got a crash there in the right lane. Northbound 294, a little heavy from the Reagan Tollway to 290. The Eden is still good. The Kennedy has scattered delays. It's 23 minutes, so O'Hare to downtown, outbound 21. Mount Eisenhower, 34 minutes. Thorndale to the post office, outbound 30. Stevenson, 41 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Ryan, 22 minutes, 95th to downtown. Bishop 426 minutes, 8094 to the Ryan. Traffic, service to Staples. Staples can take care of all your personal and business holiday shipping in store with UPS 7 days a week. All the packing supplies you need at great prices. Plus, from now until December 24th, get 10% off UPS shipping service. See an associate for details. Staples, make more happen. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte. AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the aircomfort.com Weather Center, here's our meteorologist, Kevin Snyder.
Wind chill advisory in effect 9 p.m. this evening until 10 a.m. tomorrow. For today, sun and clouds, wind gusts up to 30 miles per hour, a high of 16, wind chill values 0 to 10 below zero. Partly cloudy, windy, and frigid tonight with a low of -4. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
Currently, we have 5 above at O'Hare, 9 above along the lakefront. It is 2 above this morning in Aurora. Your next news update is at 6:30, and Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Illinois Rising, hosted by Dan Proft and the Illinois Policy Institute. Sunday afternoons at 3 on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning. Welcome to your Wednesday morning briefing. Here's what you need to know to start your day.
Rex will be a fierce advocate for America's interests around the world and has the insights and talents necessary to help reverse years of foreign policy blunders and disasters.
And they know if I say no, it means no. And talking about it more isn't going to change that no. It's still going to be no.
In the same way that President Kennedy talked about the space mission and got the country behind that, I think that whether it's education or stopping epidemics, other health breakthroughs, finishing polio, and in this energy space, there can be a very upbeat message.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. And, I'll tell you, it's a bit confusing to me. So we find that the Democrat National Committee brushed aside warnings from the FBI that its computer network had been breached by hackers linked to the Russian government. This according to a New York Times investigative report that was published yesterday. This is months in advance of it actually, this kind of leveling up to public recognition. And the DNC and President Obama didn't do anything in response to this identified breach.
Well, why did they sit on their hands?
Maybe it was
What was in it for them? Because they're very cold and calculated.
The FBI attempted to alert a DNC tech support contractor that a hacker had breached the committee's protected network. The staffer conducted a brief search of the DNC computer system logs to look for signs of intrusion. Even after the FBI continued to call over several weeks, the tech worker did little to heed the Bureau's warnings. According to an internal memo, the staffer said he had no way of differentiating the call I just received from a prank call. Okay, you get a call from the FBI and you can't distinguish it from a prank call. Really? This is so-and-so from the FBI.
Oh, really?
Please look into that. Give me, and I'll get back to you. Thank you for that. I mean, that's just absurd. The Obama administration, according to the Times, was reluctant to respond forcefully because they didn't want to escalate tensions with the Russians. They were still trying to navigate the Syrian matter. So they didn't do anything to deal with Russian hacking, so they could then not do anything to deal with Russian support for Bashar al-Assad and propping up his regime, which has just now been effectively solidified for the foreseeable future after the Assad regime has now regained control of Aleppo. And this is all on Donald Trump and the Republicans. They're the concern vis-a-vis Putin. That's not what Charles Krauthammer had to say.
Yeah, and Charles, obviously, Reince Priebus and others are saying Russia didn't make Hillary Clinton not stop in Wisconsin. They didn't make the economic message not, identify with blue-collar workers. They are pushing back hard. But the overall concern about Russia doing anything is real, not only on the Democratic side, but on the Republican side.
The overall concern is real. The idea that it gave the election to Donald Trump, I think, is absurd. The intelligence agencies themselves are split. There's no way to discern intent without having a source inside, and we don't. But the real issue is this. There's an extensive report on how this thing developed over 18 months. With the Obama administration knowing about this, knowing about all kinds of intrusions by the Russians through others, and the passivity of Barack Obama in the face of this is simply staggering.
There you go. The passivity of Barack Obama in the face of this had knowledge. Why didn't they act? Because they were playing this geopolitical game with Russia, trying to manipulate them with respect to Syria. That went real well.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing Putin responds to more favorably than passivity. I mean, more favorably for his position, not ours. So just include that in your understanding of the overheated rhetoric you're getting from the Dems with respect to Russian hacking as they seek to undermine the legitimacy of Trump's election. For more on this, we're pleased to be joined again by our friend Michael Rubin, resident scholar at the American Enterprise Institute, author of a couple of books, including Dancing with the Devil and Kurdistan Rising. Michael, thanks for joining us again. Appreciate it.
Hey, thanks for having me, Dan.
So what about this Russian hacking matter in the context of the political prism through which the Democrats are trying to prosecute the case? But now in light of this New York Times report about the knowledge, the a priori knowledge that Democrats had about the hacking and did nothing?
Well, when it comes to Barack Obama and John Kerry and the attitude towards Russia, it reminds me of Charlie Brown with Lucy, where unfortunately we're Charlie Brown and we're just trusting that the Russians aren't going to lift that football up and make us fall on our backs, that just one more time of trusting them and everything will be okay. Unfortunately, it seems that Barack Obama just has bad instincts. He had bad instincts when he ridiculed Mitt Romney for saying that Russia was an enemy, and he had bad instincts for when he described the Islamic State as a JV team. What really gets me, however, is the efforts and the enthusiasm with which people are blaming Russia for this, whereas we know that the Chinese have hacked the Office of Personnel Management, taken 20 million records of U.S. government employees, and we can't bring ourselves to officially accuse them. That's why people are up in arms and saying these accusations are all political.
So President Obama didn't get tougher because he didn't want to lose influence with Russia in Syria?
That's about right, Amy. He kept hoping that with just a little bit more trust of Vladimir Putin, that Vladimir Putin would start responding. It really has been the tale of the Obama White House that they are so egotistical, so navel-gazing. They believe so much in the power of their own rhetoric that they believe that these other guys will simply come along and recognize the wisdom of the Barack.
And of the Barack.
That's nice. I like that. Hashtag trademark.
Yeah, and what about the CIA? There's been some contentions and op-eds over the weekend in light of the back and forth, the political accusations about Putin's influence in the election and the election outcome. There's been some talk that the CIA report that's at odds with the FBI in some important substantive areas like the hacking of the RNC, which the RNC and the FBI said didn't happen, and the CIA effectively said it did, that the CIA has become politicized like so many other agencies, and that at least some of the document that was leaked to the Washington Post is a political statement, not an intelligence estimate.
Well, I'm saying this as a former government official that would use CIA documents and reports. I'd have them delivered to my desk. And one of the things to understand about the CIA is they never say anything outright. They always couch what they want to say because their interest is bureaucratically covering their own behind. So you've really got a situation where you can look at a CIA report and draw any conclusion you want from it because they're not going to be 100% certain on anything. They're always going to hem and haw. That said, the CIA is politicized. There's one quote in a magazine that drives me nuts. It was from 2005 in the American Prospect, which is a very left-of-center magazine affiliated actually with John Podesta. And what it said was basically talking about the Kerry-Bush election. It was interviewing a CIA guy, and it was like he was talking about his colleagues and how they were selectively leaking things, and I quote them saying, "They'll never elect this man," meaning Bush now that this is out there. You know, a lot of the CIA guys who might be playing politics may think that they're winning a political battle on any particular policy, but really it is a Pyrrhic victory because when you have CIA guys out there playing politics, just like when you have Pentagon officials out there playing politics, ultimately it erodes the reputation of the institution which they serve.
And don't you think people inside the CIA know who the leaks are from the CIA?
Well, put it this way. They may not know who the leakers certainly know who they are. The question is, why aren't you investigating that when you're investigating other things?
Turning to Donald Trump's nominee for Secretary of State, some call him T-Rex. I've come up with a new moniker. You ready for this?
Okay, I'm ready.
Rexon.
Oh, nice.
What do you think?
That's actually pretty good.
Thank you. I'll let you use that as long as you attribute it to me, Michael.
Fair enough, I will.
So what about Rex Tillerson? And some questions raised, mainly from people who don't know him, and mainly from the usual suspects like Lindsey Graham, about him in that role. But he's also lined up a lot of Republican political support: Dick Cheney, Condi Rice, Mitch McConnell, John Cornyn, Paul Ryan, Bob Corker, all saying very nice things about him. Your assessment of both that choice and the possibility that he'll have any problems getting confirmed?
Well, the reason why people are so upset with him is, number one, because of his relationship with Russia, and number two, because he has come out so forcefully against sanctions, which are an important tool of statecraft. That said, look, Donald Trump isn't someone who I personally like a great deal. That said, elections matter. He won, and therefore he deserves an open opportunity to get the staff he wants, and until they do something wrong, until they do something that contravenes the law, they deserve our support. Now, in this case, it's a very interesting pick because, number one, just because you're a head of a business and you're advocating for your business doesn't mean that when you're put in the head of an institution like the State Department, which, by the way, is half the size of Exxon, so it's a lot smaller than Exxon, it doesn't mean you're not going to be advocating for your country. And so I'd like to see, the question is whether it's leadership or ideology. In the case of T-Rex or Rexon, it could simply be leadership skill. And, the State Department does need a makeover when it comes to bureaucracy, when it comes to efficiency and so forth. So putting someone from the private sector in charge, that may not be a bad choice. And we'll see what happens when it comes to the choices he makes with regard to policy.
And some experience he's had, not just in terms of dealing with heads of state generally, but also dealing with rogue nations. So the Wall Street Journal points out in an op-ed yesterday that, I'll quote the Journal editorial, he certainly knows how to do bilateral diplomacy better than senators who opine from their soapboxes. He also knows about global thugs, having had Exxon's Venezuela assets seized by that socialist regime. So he's had a lot of geopolitical interaction the world over during his tenure as CEO of Exxon.
Well, that's absolutely true. And one of the other issues that's out there is that Congress doesn't necessarily get to pick the man it wants. It's Donald Trump's decision, but the Congress has oversight. Now, over the last 15 or 20 years, basically ever since Jesse Helms retired, you haven't really had much oversight coming from Congress. And if Congress doesn't like the policy of the State Department, Republicans or Democrats, they can legislate in order to constrain it. They should do their job rather than simply try to say, we're not going to allow Trump to make his pick.
But don't you think he's going to have a little tough time in the committee hearings? I mean, if he's dealing with 50 countries, yes, he knows people, he has got contacts all around the world, but he'd be the first Secretary of State with no government experience or military experience. And his relationship with Russia, I mean, if the U.S. sanctions are lifted on Russia, he and Exxon stand to make anywhere from $10 to $500 billion.
Well, I mean, first of all, if we could reverse that and look at the number of secretaries of state that have had no business experience in the real world, the number would frankly be astounding. And I don't mean sitting on a board here or there after they retire. I mean actual business experience. In this case, there's a normal procedure for this. I mean, even at my level, which is a relatively junior level, I had to declare my assets. In the case of Rex Tillerson, he's going to have to put things into blind trust, but so be it. He'll do that. I don't think he's going to be taking over the job of Secretary of State, a relatively thankless position, in order to make a quick buck. He could do that simply by sitting pretty in Exxon.
No question. All right. He is Michael Rubin, resident scholar for the American Enterprise Institute, the author of Dancing with the Devil and Kurdistan Rising. Michael Rubin, thanks so much for joining us as usual. Appreciate it.
Hey, thanks, Dan. Thanks, Amy.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Before you see it on TV, share it on Facebook, or read about it in the paper, hear it here first. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Pineapple. Forecast for today, well, cold. Frigid temperatures, a high of 16 degrees. When you factor in the wind chill, it will be in the single digits. Tonight, a low of -4. And tomorrow, it's going to be sunny, but we're going to have a wind chill advisory in effect for most of the day. Wind chills could dip to anywhere between -20 and -30 degrees. Any stalled cars on the roadways? Here's Jim Talamonte.
Well, I mean, things do break down in these conditions. Grays Lake on a rail crossing failure. Midlothian Road, south of 137. Have some delays on the South Shore line due to track conditions. On the inbound Kennedy, we've got big delays, especially from Diversey to just past North Avenue. In that area, seen a crash. 2 left lanes are blocked. It's 36 minutes and rising from O'Hare to downtown. 22 minutes from Montrose, 10 on the Express. Outbound 22 minutes downtown to the airport. Eden's 21 minutes, Lycook to the junction. The Eisenhower, 36 minutes, Thorndale to downtown. Outbound 30, Stevenson 42 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Ryan 23 minutes, 95th to downtown. Tri-State southbound, stop and go 176 to Bradley. Crash moved to the right shoulder. Jim Talamonte of the AM 560 Traffic Center.
Hey guys, check this out. There's a brand new technology that's going to drive your wife or girlfriend or third wife wild. It's probably not what you're thinking. It's even better. It's called Micro Velvet, created by the PJ experts and the engineers over at Pajamagram. And it's found only in their Tempting Touch PJs. Tempting Touch PJs are simply the softest and most luxurious pajamas ever imagined. They're addictively soft. They are simply the best, and they beg to be touched. So go to pajamagram.com and get her the blissful comfort you know she deserves. It's a higher level of soft, softer than her sweetest dreams and yours. Tempting to wear and tempting to touch. Thanks for the music. And when she's happy, you'll be happy too. A holiday gift has never felt this tempting. And the best part is you don't have to wrap because every Pajamagram includes free gift packaging. Christmas delivery guaranteed. So visit pajamagram.com. That's pajamagram.com or call 1-800-GIVE-PJs. That's 1-800-GIVE-PJs.
You haven't experienced Christmas until you've experienced the Ron Hawking Christmas Show. Get ready. It's happening Saturday, December 17th at the Fuel Room at Austin Saloon and Eatery in Libertyville. Ron's high-energy holiday performance captivates audiences of all ages with a fusion of unique personality, music, and class.
This is Ron Hawking, and I hope you'll join us on Saturday, December 17th for the Ron Hawking Christmas Show at Austin's.
The Ron Hawking Christmas Show at the Fuel Room at Austin's. Get tickets now at fuelroom.com.
Mike Rowe here. Today I'm with Frank, one of the heating and cooling pros at 1 Hour. Frank's got his head up a vent right now. How's it going up there? Frank knows what he's talking about. He's been with 1 Hour for how long, Frank?
14 years.
That's a long time. Over that time, he's worked on tons of different equipment, taken countless hours of training, and that makes Frank the man.
No, Mark Rose the man.
I'm sorry, Frank. Say again?
Mike Rose the man.
I heard him the first time. For any heating need, call 855-1 Hour today. Say it again, Frank.
Mike Rose the man.
That's what I'm talking about. Each independent franchise is licensed in its respective state or county.
AM 560, The Answer.
Well, we're almost there. We've almost, Dan, reached our goal of feeding 1,500 children in Haiti and Guatemala this Christmas. We've partnered up with Food for the Poor to raise money to provide food, clean water for children and families in need in Haiti and Guatemala. And what we're asking for is a one-time donation of $50. And Food for the Poor is great because 95 cents of every dollar.
Did you make your $50 donation after losing the Romney bet yet?
Not yet.
Okay.
I can't lie, and I can't do it for radio bit.
You're going to need to go ahead and do that.
Okay.
I'm going to need you to go ahead and come in on Saturday and make your $50 donation. Yeah. What's happening?
What's happening, Peter? $50. What will that get you, and how will that help? Well, it will provide food for a year for one child and clean water for life. And again, it takes just seconds to help those in need. Dial this number, 855-880-3663. That's 855-880-FOOD. Or if you have a cell phone, which most of us do, or smartphone, just dial.
Or an Obama phone.
Yeah, dial pound 250 on your cell phone and say the word food when prompted. And again, thank you so much for those who've helped out. Any donation is much appreciated, but we're asking for a one-time donation of $50.
And if you're a business owner or you make the marketing decisions for your business, we've got our Business Benefactor Program. It's something we've done in the past. Here's the deal. Make a $2,500 tax-deductible donation. That's food for 50 children, water for life for 50 children in Haiti and Guatemala that are literally on the brink of starvation there. We know how poor those countries are, and Haiti in particular ravaged by Hurricane Matthew just a couple months ago on top of it all. You make that $2,500 tax-deductible donation, and because you're being so generous, AM 560 is going to try and return the favor by providing you 40 60-second commercials that will run on our airwaves, primetime broadcasting hours, 5 a.m. to 8 p.m., Monday through Friday. And all you need to do to enroll in that program is call our sales director. He is Michael Mann. His number is 847-871-1527. That's 847-871-1527.
And slots are filling up quickly. I mean, we only have a few spots left, so do it today. If you've been on the bubble thinking maybe I should, maybe I shouldn't, it's really a great way to elevate your business, take it to the next level. Companies like AmericanEagle.com, C.H. Hansen, Gatto Platters, Champion Roofing. Platers, excuse me. Did I call it Platters?
They're not like a 60s Motown group. Yeah.
OneClickPick.com. I mean, these are the companies that have become business benefactors that are helping So many children.
And I'd also like to thank, I want to read some companies
Yes,
too.
please.
I'd like to thank Haymarket Center, Twin Supplies, Paycor Mortgage, Joe Cotton Ford, C-Pro, Chris Jacobs, Century 21 Affiliated, John Wright of the Wright Group Realty, Kelleher and Buckley Attorneys, OneClickPicks.com, MyPartsGarage.com, Kevin Berquist, SKC Construction, Greg Berman, Madden Management, Production and Logistics, Center Stage Dance Studio, CashCasters.com, AmeriCal, LPS Corp, Harlan J. Burke, Arlington Heights Heating and Cooling. So many great companies supporting this great program.
And again, we only have a few slots left, so do it today. And if you have any questions, just feel free to call Michael Mann. Again, his number is 847-871-1527. That's 847-871-1527.
Connect with Dan and Amy on the AM 560 The Answer mobile app. Just text the word app to 64636 to download the app today.
A great smile can make you feel happy and confident. So when you consciously conserve your teeth, that glowing smile will show through. At Best Dental Group, Doctors Economos, Gavalis, Joshi, and their staff are ready to help you create that perfect look or maintain the one you have now. Along with general dentistry, Best Dental Group is a multidisciplined practice with an orthodontist, periodontist, and prosthetic specialists on site. They use the newest breakthroughs in dental technology, such as titanium implants, Invisalign clear braces, and laser treatments. Don't let fear get in the way. They can recommend sedation to make your experience as comfortable as possible. Best Dental Group is located in historic downtown Bartlett and is a multilingual office. Call 630-830-4930. That's 630-830-4930. Or visit bestdental.org. Best Dental Group, sharing your conservative values and helping you to conserve your teeth.
Oh, I know it's hard sleeping on a flat pillow, flip-flopping during the night, waking up feeling unrested. So I suggest you do what thousands have, millions really, and that's order a MyPillow today. MyPillow has a patented interlocking fill that adjusts to your individual sleep needs. It's washable, dryable, made in America, and guaranteed not to go flat for 10 years. Wow. So if you're thinking about that tough person to buy for on your holiday list, right now is the best time to buy. Why? For a limited time, when you buy one MyPillow, you receive another MyPillow absolutely free, plus 2 free Go Anywhere pillows. Now, the money-back guarantee is extended through March 1st, so for your holiday purchases. So just visit MyPillow.com, MyPillow.com, click the radio listener special tab, and use the promo code Amy. Again, 2 premium MyPillows, 2 Go Anywhere pillows, all for the price of 1. MyPillow.com or call 800-489-0201. That's 800-489-0201. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Trump's thank you tour stops in Cheesehead Land, and I have a very telling tale about the difference between Wisconsin and Illinois. You'll want to hear it at 6:36.
But first, let's go into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
Amy and Dan, 8 degrees. Donald Trump meeting with the brains behind Apple, Facebook, Microsoft, IBM, and Cisco. There could be a little tension at today's tech summit. Many of those industry leaders were backing Hillary Clinton for president. President-elect Trump has made another one of his reported cabinet picks official. His transition team confirms he will name former Texas Governor Rick Perry to be Energy Secretary. The chairman of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee says there will be tough questions for the president-elect's choice for Secretary of State. Tennessee Republican Bob Corker says Rex Tillerson's dealings with nation states around the world like Russia will come up.
I would say most committee members are going to want to understand what is the relationship to Russia? How do you see the U.S. role in the world?
Corker said as CEO of ExxonMobil, Tillerson certainly is experienced in dealing with world leaders and events. Ohio Governor John Kasich vetoing a bill that would have banned abortions once a fetal heartbeat could be detected. He says the bill is contrary to Supreme Court rulings on the issue, but he did sign another measure banning abortion after 20 weeks of pregnancy. For you technophiles out there, Apple's wireless earbuds are finally for sale. The Apple AirPods are made for the iPhone 7, which does not have a headphone jack. The actor best known as the father on the TV series Growing Pains is dead at the age of 69. Alan Thicke suffered a heart attack yesterday while playing hockey with his 19-year-old son Carter. Employees at the Burbank Ice Rink where it happened say he will be missed. He was a frequent guest there.
Alan's been coming here for years. He plays on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and we're all saddened to hear the news, and we wish him and his family the best.
The Canadian-born actor was best known for his role as TV dad Jason Seaver on the 80s sitcom Growing Pains. He's survived by his third wife and 3 sons, including singer and entertainer Robin Thicke. This morning, hundreds of Indiana National Guardsmen may have to repay thousands of dollars in re-enlistment bonuses. The word comes after an audit showed more than 440 citizen soldiers may have been given $1.5 million too much in bonus payments between 2004 and 2015. Mayor Rahm Emanuel here in Chicago tapping Ana Valencia to serve as Chicago's new city clerk. NBA last night, Tom Thibodeau took his Timberwolves into the United Center and beat the Bulls 99-95. Blackhawks winners over the Rangers 2-1. The News is a service of Staples. Staples can take care of all of your personal and business holiday shipping in-store with UPS 7 days a week with all the packing supplies you need at great prices. Plus, from now until December 24th, get 10% off UPS shipping services. See an associate for details. Staples. Make more happen. 6:34 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Has America's history been the result of a series of fortunate accidents? Is America great because of dumb luck? In his latest book, Michael Medved argues that something greater has been at work. Divine providence. Join AM 560's Michael Medved for a special lunch on Thursday, February 2nd at Belvedere Banquets in Elk Grove Village as he tells the story of the American miracle. Get your tickets now at 560theanswer.com/miracle. That's 560theanswer.com/miracle.
Listen to AM 560 on your mobile device. Now available on iHeartRadio. Online at iHeartRadio.com.
No matter what type of business you're in, having a strong business banking partnership can help your bottom line. I'm Jeff Boundy, president of Cornerstone National Bank and Trust Company. We strongly believe that trust, service, and relationship are the cornerstone of a successful business banking partnership. Customers like Robert Weissite of Robert C. Weissite Company agree.
I appreciate the depth of experience my Cornerstone banker brings to the table. Last June, we located a building we wanted to buy for expansion. My Cornerstone banker walked me through everything I could expect to face in advance, from the letter of intent all the way through the day of closing. It went very smooth and predictably and with low stress. He had been through this type of transaction many times, and his years of experience helped me make my purchasing experience predictable, efficient, and successful.
Thanks, Bob. Please visit cornerstonenb.com, or I invite you to give me a call at 847-654-3000 to explore a business banking partnership.
Equal Opportunity Lender. Member FDIC.
6:36. Now a check of the roads in our AM 560 traffic center with Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. The inbound Kennedy has heavy delays from the River O'Toole to Lawrence and Addison past North Avenue, where a crash just cleared. But it's 57 minutes O'Hare to downtown, 38 from Montrose, 15 on the Express, outbound 26 minutes from downtown to the airport. Eden's 28 minutes, Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 20. Eisenhower, 51 minutes, Thorndale to downtown, outbound 31. Stevenson now 48 minutes, 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 34. Ryan 23 minutes, 95th to downtown. Northbound Tri-State, so 95th to the 83rd Street toll, the Reagan toll to North Avenue. Traffic is a service of Account Temps. You know what you should be making? Visit accounttemps.com/salary center to see salaries for more than 400 accounting and finance jobs where you live. It's your go-to source for accounting and finance salary information. Account Temps, a Robert Half Company. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the aircomfort.com Weather Center. Sun and clouds today. Windier by the afternoon, and that will put us into the dangerous category for wind chills. We'll top out at 16 degrees with a low of 4 below overnight. Currently, it is 6 degrees at O'Hare, 8 degrees along the lakefront. Your next news update is at 7. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by the Money Hour Radio Show, Saturday afternoons at 3 on AM 560 The Answer. Brought to you by Pure Shale Financial Group.
Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues now. And make sure to stay tuned to catch me, Mike Gallagher, coming up at 9, only on AM 560 The Answer.
Good morning. What is up, Dan and Amy? And Trump's cabinet almost complete. We're still waiting for a VA secretary. We're still waiting, kind of super cabinet positions like Federal Reserve Chairman. But
Katrina. Finish what you were saying.
Ryan Zink,
Mm-hmm.
Congressman, former Navy SEAL, Congressman from Montana, is apparently going to be his Interior Secretary, not Kathy McMorris Rogers from Washington State.
He's been on our show before.
Zink, yeah, we've talked to him before. He's a affable chap.
Yes, is he now?
And he served on the Natural Resources Committee in the House in his first term because he was just reelected. So he'll be vacating that seat to be the Interior Secretary, apparently. So waiting for VA. So he got that done yesterday. He met with his home slice, Kanye.
Oh, yeah. What up, Kanye?
Yo.
A new blonde Kanye West who just got out of rehab at UCLA.
Do you like Kanye as a brunette or a blonde?
312-642-5600. No, I don't like
turn
when
this into TMZ.
people try to be blonde when they have dark hair. Don't look at my roots. Don't you dare look at my roots.
Oh, boy.
Oh, no, you dare.
Now you go and
So Home Slice was in the Trump Tower yesterday pushing for education reform.
Yeah.
And
hilarious.
The two spoke on the way out, and he gave him the little bro shake, like the what up, bro,
Just friends. Good man. Long time. We've got friends for a long time. What did you discuss, Mr. Life?
I'm hoping that...
did you discuss life?
Life. Yeah, I had to talk about life. I assume it was much like Judge Smales and Danny Noonan had to talk about life in his office.
This was all to help.
After Danny Noonan caddied for him.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you do stand for goodness or badness, Kanye. Go good.
Glad you better, Kanye. But they reporters,
Are you my friend?
Reporters try to ask Kanye questions.
Kanye, no comment about your meeting with the president-elect. This is the president-elect of the United States. Nothing to say?
I just want to take a picture right now.
I just want to take a picture. I mean,
hope,
and then they sold a picture to TMZ for, I heard, thousands of dollars.
Yeah, whatever.
Well, that's so weird, but it helped Kanye's West reality TV show.
Well, I hope now with Donald Trump establishing lines of communication with Kanye that he's able to bring Kanye and Taylor Swift back together.
Oh.
Have a rapprochement between those two powerhouses.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Well, after that, that was so bizarre. I mean, he had a huge cabinet decision to make. Then he met with Rick Perry, and then he met with a rapper, all before 10 a.m. So, I mean, the guy's...
It's an eclectic schedule he maintains.
Well, last night he went up to a suburb of Milwaukee, on his big thank you tour, and it was so strange because Governor Scott Walker was behind him. They're all chummy and trying to hug each other, and it was so uncomfortable. And Paul Ryan was there, of course, and Donald Trump was praising Speaker Ryan.
Speaker Paul Ryan, I've really come to I've come to appreciate him.
No.
Speaker Paul Ryan, where's Speaker?
Where's that little cat?
He has been, I'll tell you, he has been terrific. And honestly, he's like a fine wine. Every day goes by, I get to appreciate his genius more and more. Now, if he ever goes against me, I'm not going to say that, okay? He's a great guy, and we have some amazing things in store. And we're going to work on taxes. We're going to work on Obamacare.
And the usual. And
I always think of Paul Ryan as a Syrah. What about you?
Oh, it's Syrah.
Yeah.
A Merlot as well, I think.
Yes.
But he went on to, talk about the cabinet, how his cabinet, Dan, has the highest IQ ever.
And I believe we're in the process of putting together one of the great cabinets, certainly a cabinet with the highest IQ that anybody has ever. I mean, these are seriously great people.
Yeah, that's all right. And, of course,
don't disagree.
The pressing question, the big get yesterday, the big announcement was that Rex Tillerson, or Rexon?
Rexon, as I call him. Now, you can, again, share that with your friends. I encourage you to just make sure there's attribution. And that goes for all of you senators that will participate in the confirmation process. Do I want my name included in that confirmation hearing when you refer to him as Rexon?
Rex will be a fierce advocate for America's interests around the world and has the insights and talents necessary to help reverse years of foreign policy blunders and disasters. Very excited about Rex. And, you know, Rex is friendly with many of the leaders in the world that we don't get along with. And some people don't like that. They don't want him to be friendly.
Yeah, his contacts around the world.
Boy, the timing of that couldn't be better. Again, as we mentioned in our conversation with Michael Rubin at the top of the hour, with Bashar al-Assad solidifying his position with the help of Russia by recapturing Aleppo. What is Aleppo? Aleppo is the means to Bashar al-Assad's power over Syria, Mr. Johnson, and frankly, Mr. Obama. So, the timing worked out pretty well for Trump. Now, I want to, since we're talking about Wisconsin, I wanted to take this down to the local level. I want to break this down.
Break her down like Kanye?
Yeah.
Yo, you got to dye your hair blonde first.
Yeah. And
that's a good look.
Yeah, and I need to steal some Ray Charles music to riff on this. So here's the thing. Sample, I guess is what they call it. Illinois and Wisconsin. So I'm speaking to a group of commercial real estate brokers at lunch yesterday. And this guy's telling me, about the climate in Illinois from their perspective as a business person who operates in the commercial real estate sector, commercial real estate development. Talks to investors, talks to big companies in terms of location decisions, right? So he tells me, here's we're talking back and forth about Illinois and what's going on politically and, where we find ourselves and all of the seemingly intractable problems that afflict us. He said, let me give you an example of what's happening and where Illinois is vis-a-vis like Wisconsin. 2 Costcos. He's talking to a honcho at Costco.
Okay.
So they put 2 Costco outlets, one just south of Mitchell Field, one just south of Milwaukee. I think it's in New Berlin. I'm not sure, but just south of the airport in Milwaukee. And another in Melrose Park, here, near west suburbs, Cook County.
I'm familiar with Melrose
Well,
Park.
I'm just saying, we have people downstate that listen to us and other states that listen to us. I'm just giving a little geography. And but importantly in Cook County, costs the same to build the facilities, both facilities, $33 million for both.
Square footage is the same.
Yeah.
Yep.
And the cost to build.
Okay.
The sales are the same, substantially the same, within a few shekels at the 2 outlets.
All right.
The net for Costco at their Milwaukee area store, $8 million a year. That's what they net.
Wow.
The volume business. The net at their Melrose Park location.
Oh, can I guess?
What do you think it is?
$5 million.
$600,000.
Oh, that's it?
$600,000.
Because of all the taxes.
It's taxes and shakedown fees. He talks about there's a $50,000 a year roof inspection fee and all of these other layers and layers of taxes. Because we have so many units of government and fees and basically shakedown scams. That is a difference of 13x in terms of return.
Oh my gosh.
$8 million just north of the cheese curtain in Milwaukee a year. That's their net. $600,000 in Melrose Park in Cook County. And
sales are the same. I mean, pretty much the same.
Ronner tried to get a meeting with the CEO of Costco.
Yeah.
Said, look, it basically didn't take the meeting. We have nothing to talk about. I mean, he's not blaming Ronner. He said, we just have nothing to talk about. We have nothing to talk about in terms of locating more outlets here, doing business in Illinois, until something changes in Illinois, because it makes absolutely no sense. And all you have to do is share that vignette about the tale of 2 communities, Milwaukee and Cook County.
Wow,
West
that
Cook
is
County.
A huge difference.
Massive, isn't it?
That's unbelievable.
Yeah, we talk about these macro.
We're lucky we even have Costco here.
No kidding.
With numbers like that. We're lucky we have any service providers.
We talk, we always talk macro, and, you try and drill down to the micro to make it register with people. Well, that's micro. That is micro. And here's the thing about Wisconsin, too. Wisconsin's not really a low-tax state. We've had, I hear this talking point from the left, so I'm sure you hear it in your conversation too about Illinois taxation. You complain about Illinois taxation, highest property taxes in the nation. So, well, Wisconsin's so much better. Why don't you go up to Wisconsin and pay their taxes? Okay, let's talk about that. According to Forbes and others, Tax Foundation, Wisconsin and Illinois are fairly similar in terms of your total state and local tax burden for the average taxpayer. It's about 12% of your income. So in addition to federal, there's another 12% state and local. It's similar. I think Illinois is actually a little bit more than Wisconsin, but it is similar. But here's the difference. And this is what the left will never tell you in these conversations because they don't care about what you get for your money. That's the problem. So Illinois, same tax burden, right? And we've got this economic engine called O'Hare in northeastern Illinois and Chicago. Okay, same tax burden at the state and local level. Just use that as the foundation. Except Wisconsin has a budget surplus. Wisconsin has nearly fully funded public sector pensions. Illinois has the largest unfunded public sector pension liability in the country. Illinois has $11 billion in unpaid bills at present. Illinois has almost $250 billion in total debt versus about $30 billion in total assets. So you see the difference? Illinois is one of the worst states in the nation in providing services to the developmentally disabled. Wisconsin, one of the best. So you see, the tax burdens are similar at the state and local level, but what you get for what you send to Springfield versus what you get for what you send to Madison turn out to be very different things. Do you understand that? Leftists in Chicago, Vichy suburbanites in Cook and the Collars, who continue to vote Dem incredibly, and think that they're good people. You're not. You're complicit with defrauding, at minimum, people with developmental disabilities, just for starters, just to try and heap as much moral scorn on you as I can. So when you vote for Democrats in Eastern DuPage or Lake or Will or McHenry, as you have historically, that's what you're doing. And so think about that. Think about what Wisconsin's happening in Wisconsin versus what's happening in Illinois for similar tax burdens. And then think about the economic climate here, what you're supporting. You're supporting businesses going there and creating jobs and throwing off tax revenue for government services in other states. That's what you're supporting. And for people who are afraid to, I don't want to get into it at the neighborhood block party. I don't want to get into it at a cocktail party or when I'm convening with my friends and neighbors. I just let it go. Get into it. What do you have to lose? Your neighbors? They're not going to be your neighbors in a few years anyway, just like everybody else.
My neighbor wants to tear my house down for her dog.
Yeah, well.
Oh, I need the yard space. Yeah. But in our neighborhood, there's no one's running against. We have no Republican challengers against any of these Democrats.
I mean, I don't know. I don't. The Chicago is a separate thing.
That's a separate beast.
But suburban Cook and the Collars, what the hell are you people doing? I mean, look at the data. Listen to the real world examples. That's what you want to be a part of? Really? Defend it. I want to hear somebody defend it. 312-642-5600, Turkey.Pro answer line. Explain it away to me, leftists. Mike on the north side. No. Oh, shoot. Sorry, Mike. What the? I got so upset I disconnected Mike on the north side.
Right. Take a breath. Maybe Mike will call back.
I'm going to have to go to my safe space now.
It's like a hot, steaming cup of information to start your day. It's Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
I'm Lou Dobbs. The Fed expected to raise interest rates today. President-elect Trump hosting a tech summit. Those stories next.
Bill Bennett here to tell you about Augusta Precious Metals. Attention, investors. Your IRA or your 401k may be at risk again. The 2008 crash wiped out up to 50% of IRAs and 401ks. Can you afford to lose again? What if you could store IRA or 401k savings where you can see, touch, and hold it in your hands? With the Augusta Gold or Silver IRA, you transfer a portion of retirement savings into physical coins you can actually see and get fast in case of any disaster. Call Augusta Precious Metals today for a free gold and silver IRA guide. No obligation. Augusta Precious Metals, A-plus Better Business Bureau rating, 98% 5-star customer satisfaction rating with TrustLink.org. Trust Augusta. Call Augusta Precious Metals today at 1-855-222-6993. That's 1-855-222-6993. One more time, 1-855-222-6993.
We find out today whether and by how much the Fed is raising interest rates. The Fed chair will hold a news conference after the Federal Reserve closes its two-day meeting. Besides today's Fed announcement and guidance, investors will also be watching a high-profile tech summit. Top executives with Alphabet, Apple, Facebook, and other companies meeting with the president-elect. Monsanto shareholders voted to approve a proposed $57 billion takeover by Bayer AG. The companies are now seeking regulatory approval but expect the deal to close by the end of the year. The Greek government feuding with the International Monetary Fund over demanded reforms. The left-led Greek government refuses to legislate any further cutbacks after the bailout ends in mid-2018. Please join me for Lou Dobbs tonight, 7 and 11 Eastern on the Fox Business Network. This is the Lou Dobbs Financial Report.
Text, can I share that Costco example on Facebook? Please do. Text from the Amish texter, that Costco tale sounded like a good comparison between the economics of New Berlin and Old Moscow. Yeah, that's very good. Nicely done. And Mike from the north side, we'll get back to you, so hang. Gentlemen, Dan Proft here. This time of the year can be exhausting and stressful, but if you feel a lack of energy or motivation, no matter what time of year, it's time to get your testosterone levels checked. I know men like me loathe going to the doctor, but Low T Center makes getting your levels checked quick, easy, and affordable. Stress is associated with low testosterone and can worsen symptoms like fatigue, trouble sleeping, and affect your mood. I personally recommend going to Low T Center. They make it easy. You walk in, you take a simple blood test, and with the convenience of their on-site lab, you get your results in about 20 minutes. So if you're drinking coffee or energy drinks just to get through the day, or if you always feel like you need a nap after lunch, you may have low T. Low T levels can make you feel tired and grumpy, raise your cholesterol, and cause weight gain. Low T Center accepts most health insurance, is in most networks, is considered in-network by most insurance providers, and has flexible hours, including Saturday, so don't hesitate to find out what your number is. I'm sure glad I did. Call my friends at Low T Center today and tell them Dan Proft sent you. That's me. The number is 630-409-4305. That's 630-409-4305. Again, call 630-409-4305 or visit them online at lowtcenter.com.
Last winter was pretty much a piece of cake, but this winter, we're told, is gonna be a doozy.
Well, the Farmer's Almanac forewarns that bitterly cold, if not downright frigid, numbing cold weather will be predominating over these parts this winter.
Not looking good, but you can be ready. Smart businesses rely on Air Comfort to keep them and their customers warm this expected frigid winter. Air Comfort is one of the largest commercial and industrial service groups in the Chicago area, with dedicated factory-trained technicians that take a scientific approach to analyzing your system. They have comprehensive year-round preventative maintenance programs and emergency service, plus design, build, and install equipment for new construction and retrofits of existing mechanical systems. Now is a great time to call Air Comfort and schedule an analysis of your company's mechanical system by their certified award-winning engineering team. Call 708-345-1900 or visit aircomfort.com. Air Comfort, providing the right climate for business since 1935.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest-growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
Hi, I'm Mick O'Rourke, President and CEO of Signature Bank. We'd like to wish you happy holidays from our Signature Bank family to your family.
I'm Kevin Bastuga, co-founder of Signature Bank. There's no better place to be for the holidays than Chicago.
And this is Brian Duncan, co-founder of Signature Bank. Whether it's ice skating under the lights at Millennium Park,
or my favorite, visiting Candy Cane Lane in Lincolnwood to see the Noonan House with the tree magically rising through the roof,
or attending the annual tree lighting in downtown Downers Grove.
We wish you the very best this holiday season from Signature Bank, Chicago's business bank.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. Learn more about turning your business vision into reality. Visit signature-bank.com Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
As a parent, nothing fills you with pride more than your child excelling at something they love. For some, it's sports. For others, photography. At Center Stage Dance Studio in Bloomingdale at Stratford Square Mall, it's dance. Children of all ages have embraced dance at Center Stage for years. And now with their new state-of-the-art 11,000 square foot location, there's the new Little Princess birthday party room, homework room, new eating area, and a new separate secure entrance. Daily Herald readers voted Center Stage one of the best dance studios in the DuPage County area. From 2-year-olds to competitive dancers, classes exist for all styles of expression. Tap, jazz, ballet, lyrical, even tumbling classes. Dancer Magazine voted Center Stage one of the top 25 dance studios in North America. Their professional staff has over 125 years of combined teaching experience. Register for classes today. Call 630-529-9080 or visit CenterStageDanceOnline.com. Center Stage Dance Studio, upper level at Stratford Square Mall in Bloomingdale, just outside of Macy's.
Second Amendment Sports is a beautiful new 4,000 square foot showroom with an outstanding selection of Ruger firearms and accessories. Choose from over 25 Rugers in stock, from Vaquero revolvers to 10/22 rifles. Enjoy great Ruger quality and pricing that includes an excellent warranty plus customer service. And you won't pay gun or Cook County taxes at Second Amendment. Ask about affordable memberships offering range time and discounts. Practice on one of 14 premium ventilated shooting range. For Christmas, a Second Amendment Sports gift card is perfect. Second Amendment Sports and Ruger, excellence in firearms. Call 815-385-5522 for information or visit secondamendsports.com, 815-385-5522, or online at secondamendsports.com. Head north to Second Amendment Sports in McHenry, Chicagoland's Ruger retail headquarters. Open 7 days a week, weekdays until 9, weekends until 6. Second Amendment Sports, safety, recreation, protection.
Fox News Radio. I'm Dave Anthony. He stood in front of 2 huge decorated trees and said,
"We are going to say Merry Christmas again."
President-elect Trump also resurrected his line about people who are going to get sick of winning, thanking his voters in Wisconsin last night and praising his pick for Secretary of State. Fox's Rachel Sutherland live in Washington.
Dave, the president-elect, who's facing criticism about Rex Tillerson from some Republicans, praised the ExxonMobil CEO.
Rex is one of the greatest and most skilled global business leaders of our time.
Former Texas Governor Rick Perry has been tapped to lead the Energy Department, and Mr. Trump may announce today that Montana Congressman Ryan Zinke will be nominated as Secretary of the Interior. A couple of key cabinet positions remain open: Secretaries of the Agriculture Department and the Department of Veterans Affairs. Dave.
Rachel, later today, the president-elect will sit down with Microsoft founder Bill Gates and Apple CEO Tim Cook and other big-name technology company leaders for a tech summit. Months ago, some tech executives wrote an open letter calling Donald Trump a disaster for innovation. In Turkey, 350 trucks full of supplies and help for civilians in war-torn Syria left to much fanfare. But the situation in Syria has worsened again. A ceasefire worked out hours ago collapsed. Fighter jets are carrying out bombing raids, and there's heavy fighting around Aleppo again. The day rebels and tens of thousands of Syrian civilians were supposed to be evacuated from the city. Buses have been sent away empty. Russia blames the rebels for resuming hostilities. The Fed will assess the economy again this morning, and then later today.
Many economists expect Federal Reserve policymakers to raise interest rates a quarter point. It would be the first increase of 2016.
Fox's Carol Zimmer. Dolly Parton and some big-name friends like Kenny Rogers held a telethon last night, raising a few $1 million on Great American Country and other networks to help Tennesseans whose homes were burned down in that wildfire around Gatlinburg that killed 14 people. Fox News Radio, fair and balanced.
Some clouds this morning. It is 8 degrees above with a wind chill of -3 at 7:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. Here are the stories we are following on WIND Chicago. Chicago police are searching for a man at this hour who tried to abduct an 13-year-old girl on the city's south side. It happened in the 800 block of East 63rd Street. The girl was able to break free and run to safety. A judge is ordering the city of Chicago this morning to hold off on implementing a new home sharing ordinance. City Council signed off on a measure over the summer that places restrictions on homeowners renting their living space out on companies like Airbnb. The nonprofit group Keep Chicago Livable filed suit last month attempting to block the new rules. The ordinance was scheduled to go into effect Saturday, but the judge ruled this week to push that date back until February. Hundreds of Indiana National Guardsmen may have to repay thousands of dollars in re-enlistment bonuses. Word comes after an audit showed more than 440 Indiana citizen soldiers may have been given $1.5 million too much in bonus payments between 2004 and 2015. Prosecutors in Lake County say Officer Joe Glinowitz's wife shared in his criminal conspiracy, so she should share in the responsibility. Lake County State's Attorney's Office is asking a judge to move ahead with charges against Melody Glinowitz for money laundering and other crimes. A 26-year-old has changed his plea to guilty for helping his cousin and the cousin's girlfriend kill the woman's mother in Indonesia by texting tips from 9,000 miles away here in Chicago. Robert Bibbs pleaded guilty Tuesday in federal court to conspiracy to commit foreign murder. He'll be sentenced March 23rd. A plea deal recommends a maximum of 20 years in prison. Bibbs of Chicago hoped to get a cut of 62-year-old Sheila Von Wiesmack's inheritance by offering advice on her killing while she vacationed in Bali. NBA last night, Tom Thibodeau back at the United Center as head of the Minnesota Timberwolves. His guys beat the Bulls 99-94. NHL last night, Blackhawks over the Rangers 2-1. The news, a service of Staples. Staples can take care of all your personal and business holiday shipping. In store with UPS, 7 days a week, with all the packing supplies you need at great prices. Plus, from now until December 24th, get 10% off UPS shipping services. See an associate for details. Staples, make more happen. 7:04, time to check the climate of your business with aircomfort.com, providing the right climate for business since 1935. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
You need to understand that the way you build wealth is you do not use the evening news or CNN or Fox to set the tone of your emotions around your investing.
The Dave Ramsey Show.
If you're thinking of changing your investing patterns because you're watching the news, you need to turn off the news. You are in charge of your destiny.
Dave Ramsey. Weeknights starting at 7. Presented by Wintrust Community Bank on AM 560. The Answer.
Every year, guys open their holiday presents and you hear, "No, really, I love it." That's because finding the perfect gift for guys is hard, really hard. Thankfully, this year, there's Harry's. Guys everywhere have been flocking to Harry's.com to change the way they shave. This holiday season, impress the guys on your list with a Harry's Holiday Shave Set. All of their holiday shave sets include the finely crafted razors they've become known for, guaranteed to give him the close, comfortable shave he deserves. On top of that, the shave sets also include Harry's highly rated shaving cream, extra blades, and more. Harry's is the gift he'll actually use. And Harry's owns their own factory, so they're able to make high-quality shaving supplies incredibly affordable. You can get Harry's holiday shave sets for every guy on your list this year. You can even add engraved initials to make it more personal. So head over to Harry's.com to get him the gift he'll truly love. Use the code 8811 when you check out, and you'll even get $5 off your first purchase. That's Harry's.com, code 8811.
7:06. Let's get an update on the roads at our AM 560 Traffic Center with Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. On the inbound Kennedy, things are improving somewhat after an earlier crash, but it's still 54 minutes from O'Hare to downtown. There's some time in the Express. Outbound, looking at 30 minutes from downtown to the airport. On the inbound Edens, delays start around Dempster. It is 30 minutes from Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 23. On the inbound Eisenhower, 53 minutes, Thorndale to the post office, outbound 36. Stevenson, 53 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 37. Ryan, 23 minutes, 95th to downtown. Clear outbound. I-57, 19 minutes, I-80 to the Verge, Mission 424. Northbound Tri-State slow 95th to LaGrange Road. From the Stevenson to 47. Then from the Reagan Tollway to Grand Avenue. The Adams Tollway's okay. Reagan Tollway, little tight approaching 355. Veterans Memorial, slow 63rd to the Reagan Tollway. Roosevelt to St. Charles. Southbound 53, stop and go Dundee to before Palatine Road. The right lane is blocked with a medical emergency. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte, AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the aircomfort.com Weather Center, here is meteorologist Kevin Snyder.
Wind chill advisory in effect from 9 p.m. this evening until 10 a.m. tomorrow. For today, becoming windier and frigid with sun and clouds. Extreme cold can be dangerous for outdoor activities. High today, 16. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
Currently 10 degrees at O'Hare, 12 degrees along the lakefront. Next news, 7:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by the Alpha Wealth Group, bringing the trilogy of estate, tax, and investment planning together. Visit alphawealthgroup.com for a free report.
Good morning. Welcome to your Wednesday morning briefing. Here's what you need to know to start your day.
Rex will be a fierce advocate for America's interests around the world and has the insights and talents necessary to help reverse years of foreign policy blunders and disasters.
And they know if I say no, it means no. And talking about it more isn't going to change that no. It's still going to be no.
In the same way that President Kennedy talked about the space mission and got the country behind that, I think that whether it's education or stopping epidemics, other health breakthroughs, finishing polio, and in this energy space, there can be a very upbeat message.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Before we get to things national, let's just stay local for just a minute.
Sounds so nice and pleasant.
Pick up our heads, look around this holiday season, see what's happening in Illinois that's happening differently in our neighboring states and throughout the nation. Oh, by the way, this is a little story out of southern Illinois, the Metro East area, St. Clair County specifically.
Oh, yeah, I love St. Clair County.
Oh, yeah.
I go there.
I understand you do. I understand you do. This comes to us from the Metro East Sun, metroeastsun.com, which is one of my newspapers.
Oh, you own it?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm going to throw that around next time I go there.
Yes, exactly.
I know Dan Proft, and he's running your newspaper.
And
now
then-
let me in here.
And then you're going to be run out of town.
Yes.
But because, voter fraud doesn't exist. That's a figment of the vast right-wing conspiracy's imagination. And it particularly does not exist in Democrat strongholds like St. Clair County. Except this. Former Allerton Mayor Joanne Reed, ousted from office over alleged malfeasance, was indicted this week, accused of buying votes and disregarding the election code. She was charged alongside a large group of officials and other local-level government staffers who were caught in Operation Watchtower, a combined effort between St. Clair County law enforcement officials and the feds. This reported by St. Louis's KMOV TV. I just wanted to pass that along because St. Clair County, that's where East St. Louis is. That's part of Illinois. And so voter fraud is not limited to Chicago. And yes, it's a real thing. Yes, it really does happen. And here's yet another actual real-world case, unless you think this is all a conspiracy theory, a conspiracy between these local prosecutors and the feds to create voter fraud where it does not otherwise occur. That's not the case. Not the case. And this, when Illinois, by the way, speaking of statewide, you saw this story last week about the lottery?
Oh yeah, they're trying to. Where'd that money go?
Illinois Lottery's biggest scratch-offs didn't award 40% of grand prizes. So,
where's the money?
Right. The Tribune investigation, Chicago Tribune, found the Illinois Lottery collected hundreds of millions of dollars from selling tickets to instant games, in which it did not hand out all of the life-changing grand prizes it advertised, sometimes awarding no grand prizes before ending a game. Though that's problematic, especially when gambling and drugs are our two main staples here. That's Illinois. Illinois' economy is a mob economy.
Mm-hmm.
We just need to legalize prostitution, and then we'll have closed the loop. I'm not kidding. Why not?
Or tax the air we breathe.
Yeah. Why not? What about taxing? What about sports books? Since we're going all gambling all the time, Why does only Vegas have legalized sports books? What's the difference between a sports book and a lottery? Between a sports book and video poker? Between a sports book and a casino? I don't
know.
Maybe
Dan, why don't you enlighten me?
Yeah, well,
about the sports book speak.
Well, there's no moral difference, right? I mean,
No,
gambling
I
on
mean-
sports, it's legal in Vegas, but it's not, versus gambling and all the other forms of gambling that occurs in Illinois. I mean, what's the difference?
Gosh, remember they were trying to put slots at O'Hare Airport?
Sure.
Oh my goodness, I blew a gasket on that one.
And then there's this.
We really want that image here.
Well, I think that's past post. Take a look at the heat map of where video poker machines and video poker rooms exist in Illinois. Outside
There's one at my dad's favorite restaurant in Buffalo Grove. My kids are fascinated, like the poker room.
You can go online and look at the map of Illinois,
Yeah.
a silhouette of Illinois, and then look at all the red dots where there's video poker. The entire state is red, with the exception of Chicago. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what we do here. The crisis of the future. This is relevant to us as well. With
Who's
the
got
largest
the video poker contract? Is it Mayor Daley's cousin?
Yeah.
He used to have one. Sorry for interrupting.
Well, this is relevant as well. The largest, given we're the state with the largest unfunded public sector pension liability, given in Chicago, where both the police and fire pensions are under 30% funded, those pension funds are bankrupt. In a few short years, if nothing is done structurally, I'm telling you right now, so, hey, don't blame me when it happens, police and fire. In a few years, beneficiaries are going to receive IOUs instead of checks because the obligations that are being accrued are outpacing the ability of those pension funds to continue paying current beneficiaries. The rubber is coming to the road, and that's what happened in Dallas last week. We kind of mentioned it in passing, but there was a run on the pension fund by police officers and firefighters. The mayor had to file a lawsuit to block further withdrawals from the pension fund.
Oh, my gosh, really?
You're going to have, this is like no confidence in pension funds, like no confidence. You have a wildcat run on pension funds like we've had on the banks in our history. That's exactly what's going to happen. So it will just expedite the demise. But here's the thing. This is from the American Interest. Walter Russell Mead has it, as he always does. Here's something interesting. The share of compensation costs paid by state and local governments for defined benefit pension plans reached 10%, its highest on record, in September of this year. That's according to the Labor Department. That's up from 9.5% in 2015, up from 6.3% the same quarter 10 years ago. For state and local workers, the larger share going to defined benefit costs comes at the expense of other forms of compensation. In that same 10-year period, wages and salaries made up 67% of compensation. As of September, that had dropped 4 points to 63%. And here's the bottom line on this. I mean, except in Illinois, because we're trying to sustain the unsustainable. We're trying to continue to pretend that math is just an opinion. But here's what's actually happening in other states that are trying to deal with the math that is inexorable. You have self-dealing union interests creating a two-tiered crisis, preventing cities from offering competitive wages to current employees, and that's diminishing the quality of state and local public services. And by generating these unfunded liabilities, like in Illinois, it raises the specter of further cuts or even bankruptcy for states and localities in the event of another economic downturn. So you're going to have a harder time attracting quality when you can't pay competitive wages to current employees or prospective employees because you have these unfunded obligations that are, frankly, unfinanceable in our state at the level they are now. So this is, again, when you make a promise you can't keep and you do nothing in furtherance of financing, which is what the political ruling class in Illinois has done for the last 40 years with the leadership of Mike Madigan and John Cullerton all along the way, and you think they're great. And these Democrats, they're so generous for state employees. They care so much about social services that they underfund, that they lie about. And it turns out you make these promises you can't keep and you do not move in furtherance of fulfilling them. Ultimately, the people are really going to get hurt. And so the police and fire and the teachers and the state workers and the municipal workers who all think that, my bread is buttered with the Democrat machine in Chicago and Illinois. And some of the trades, too. Yeah, that's where you think your bread is buttered. Wait, it's coming. And when it comes, remember that I was on your side and people like me were on your side trying to reform a system to make it sustainable so you get the benefits you earned. And the other side was selling you a bag of goods the entire way. Now, for the people who got out, got theirs and took off, so many, oh, bully for you. This is the detritus you've left behind. Let's go to Gary in Naperville. You're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey, thanks a lot, Dan. Amy, you're like a voice crying in the wilderness.
I feel like it.
Going on in Illinois. But, you've been familiar with the suburbs out here. It's a one-party system. The Democrats have basically used their money to, get the elected officials heading up the Republican Party that basically cooperate. And so we're kind of like Fidel Castro's Cuba. So I'll let you comment on that.
Yeah, thanks for the call, Gary. I mean, this is what John Cass refers to as the combine, right? Democrats buy off Republicans for table scraps. That's what they've done. A lot of, not all Republicans, but some. You have this kind of, sticky group of Republicans that believe, in Illinois, just talking about, that believe government is about distributing the spoils of war to your friends. So when the Democrats get in, when they have power, they get to do it and we get a little bit. When we get in power, we get to do it and the Democrats still get, a lot more than they deserve because we want to play nice with the Democrats to keep this spoil system going. Well, that's what a banana republic is. That's what a kleptocracy is. And that's what Illinois is. And the results are all around us. Ignore them at your peril. Mike on the north side. Sorry about hanging up on you before.
I think that was City Hall. First off, Dan, there's no vote fraud in Democratic areas. If there were, that little Lisa, our Attorney General, a.k.a. Princess Piggyback, would have found it and rooted it out.
Oh, yeah.
Every day she calls the Speaker's office and asks Stepdaddy Darris, is there any corruption? No, so then she goes back to being a role model for whoever. But I wanted to talk about, it's even worse in the city. The Gap wanted to open up on 35th Street, and the local ward organization told them who they would use for construction, for concrete, for plumbing, for electrical, and it was going to cost them 2.5 times. So they left. There's a auto mechanic shop. They were ordered by the city to put up a 30-foot ornamental fence. Well, they did it. The city wouldn't give them a permit because they weren't connected. The guy put the fence up. It cost them $300, and then they came around and started writing them up with citations. He was supposed to go to a certain person and pay them $8,000 for the $300 fence. Now, that person was the alderman's nephew, and now Pugsley Daley Thompson is the alderman.
Mm-hmm.
And this wasn't 50 years ago. This was 5 or 10 years ago.
Yeah, well, why should anything change? So the same guy, the new guy, same as the old guy. Why should anything change in Chicago, Mike? Nobody has been chastened by losing at the ballot box. So why shouldn't they keep the same racket going? They all get paid.
Well, yeah, they're keeping the same racket because, taxes are low and crime is down.
Yeah, well, but okay, I understand that's a sarcastic comment, but all of Amy's friends in Lakeview, and it's not limited to Lakeview, throughout the city of Chicago, they want more of the same. They look at what's happening, they say, give me more. That's what they're doing.
Well, the funny thing with Amy's friends are, they all voted for Obama and he took away their health care. And now they're whining, hey, that's what you voted for.
I don't understand.
Premiums went up.
Thanks for the call, Mike.
Too bad.
But I mean, I just, I say this till I'm purple in the face. People get the representation they deserve. So this is what we want. And also there's a lot of, distribution of responsibility for the failure. I've been in Illinois for my entire life. And so I feel I've obviously failed to affect what I would like to see happen.
I've lived in 8 states. You really got to get out.
Yeah, I'm thinking about it.
You're
like everybody else, I'm thinking about it.
Educated here, post-education, you got your law degree here.
Well, I'm a lash to the mast kind of guy, but I got to tell you, nobody wants to join the fight. I mean, you can only run into Panzer fire so many times without point, I suppose. Angel in Milwaukee.
Oh, hi, Angel.
Yes.
Hi, Angel.
Hi.
Hi.
That's the name of your cat, right, Angel?
It was.
Oh, sorry. Too soon.
Oh, sorry about the cat.
Yeah, thank you.
I live in Milwaukee, and I find it very interesting that Illinois and Wisconsin are like twins. you have one is on crack and you have one is not. And it just seems really bad that, Milwaukee is Democratic and Chicago is Democratic. And, I'm listening to what you're saying. And, let me correct myself. I am actually originally from Jackson, Mississippi, but I just find it very interesting learning from both sides of the coin how, you're still on the same coin, but just different perspectives of about democracy as far as Democrats are concerned. Mayor Barrett here has been here, I think, over 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
No one's ever really won against this Democratic mayor. And then no one likes Walker. And, where they have the Never Trumpers, you have the Never Walkers here. They even still got stickers saying recall Walker on a lot of the things that they have. But yet no one's making a big to-do that the taxes in Milwaukee for property taxes are lower. Like taxes here for property taxes just went up maybe $30 just for this 2017. We got to pay before the 2017. But then like our state taxes are like 6.1%, I think is the highest. Considering the fact that they're building a new arena for the Bucks, who has never won anything since the 70s. But, I'm just looking at the fact that it's just really amazing to hear why there are so many people that come to Wisconsin to, get whatever they can possibly get from the services that are here. But I really wish that Wisconsin would change from the Democratic to Republican, like the rest of the state pretty much is, because they will see a whole different vast of environment if they did. And I really appreciate you taking the time and ranting and venting out your emotions about your state. And I wish the best for your state. And I'll hang up. And thank you guys for taking my call.
Thanks, Angel. Appreciate the call. Great call. It's interesting about Milwaukee. But Milwaukee has had some dalliances with Democratic reformers. So Polly Williams, who was a Democrat council member, African-American female Democrat council member in Milwaukee 25 years ago, was the leader of the school choice movement that came to Milwaukee 25 years ago. And then you've had a Milwaukee mayor like a John Norquist, who's a Democrat, but he was a reformer in terms of a proponent of school choice. And, Scott Walker, maybe there's some kind of lingering acrimony about Walker, but he's been successful. He's won 3 elections in half a dozen years. In addition to that, don't forget, Walker did something we haven't seen in this region since the late 60s. He was a Republican who won the Milwaukee County executive position before he was governor. Milwaukee County, the demographics, the partisan demographics are similar to Cook County. Walker won there, and we haven't had a Republican Cook County board president since Ogilvie in the late 60s. So, yeah, it's...
You two were friends, right? Because you're 80.
Correct. Yes, I remember. I walked precincts for him.
Yeah, you did.
So, it really is interesting. I guess to some extent you look at and listen to the problems that Milwaukee has and the relatively high total tax burden that Wisconsin residents have, and it still looks exponentially more attractive than Illinois. And it looks that way because it is.
If you're talking about it, Dan and Amy are talking about it. It's Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Hey, it's Mike Gallagher here to introduce you to Jack Amberg. Jack is a retired Army lieutenant colonel and a certified top VA loan provider who can help you obtain the perfect loan. Jack, tell us a little more about yourself.
Thanks, Mike. I was both enlisted and commissioned in the military, and I'm VA certified in all 50 states. My mission is closing the loan to fit the personality, goals, and needs of my veterans. We actually underwrite our own loans, so we're a one-stop shop. Many veterans don't know the true savings of using this lifelong benefit.
Tell us how you approach working with realtors as part of the process.
I work closely with my realtors. My mission with them is to close the loan as quickly and as efficiently as possible.
Jack, how can we contact you?
You can call me at 630-995-5244 or online at yourvaguy.com.
Jack Amberg at 630-995-5244 or go to yourvaguy.com. Thanks, Jack.
Banker NMLS number 698289. The Federal Savings Bank is an equal housing lender and member of FDIC. NMLS number 411500.
Hey, the Arctic air is tightening its grip on Chicago, so don't you want to get away from the cold, snow, gray skies? You know where it'll be warm and sunny for the next 5 months? That's Punta Cana in the Dominican Republic. That's where we're headed in 2017. We'll be staying at the Secrets Capa Cana Resort and Spa. It's an unlimited luxury resort that just opened last month. It has 5 gourmet restaurants, 7 bars serving unlimited premium drinks and 24-hour room service. The resort has sparkling pools and access to pristine beaches. So join us in Punta Cana and have the vacation of a lifetime with us. Get more information and book your trip by visiting 560theanswer.com. Keyword passport. It's a great gift for the holidays. Give the gift of travel. Again, go to 560theanswer.com. Keyword passport. The price that Apple Vacations has secured for us is incredible and exclusive only to us, so don't miss out. Visit 560theanswer.com. Keyword passport.
Can a religious club at a public school have a web page advertising their meetings? This is Law and Justice with Jay Sekulow.
I wanted to find out the rights of a student organization at a public institution. Do they have a right to have a student organization web page for a Christian organization?
Well, that would depend on whether they allow the other student groups to have websites, because what the Supreme Court decided in 1990, and this is obviously was before the growth and the real birth of the internet as we know it today, the Supreme Court said that equal access was entitled the students to official recognition, which said access to the school's media. The question is, with regard to a website, I think it would follow within the same logic to include a website. It's actually a great question. Hang on the line. What I'm going to do is get you in touch right now with some of our lawyers at the American Center for Law and Justice to help you out, okay?
Stay informed, get involved, and make a difference. Visit the American Center for Law and Justice at aclj.org. That's aclj.org.
Hi, it's Amy Jacobson and Dan Proft here from Chicago's Morning Answer.
If you're a business owner, marketing manager, or if you make the marketing decisions for a business, listen up. We've got an offer you need to hear.
This Christmas season, we're partnering with Food for the Poor to raise money to help children and families suffering in Haiti and Guatemala. And we want you to partner with us, and we're going to put our money where our mouth is.
If you make a $2,500 tax-deductible donation to Food for the Poor on behalf of your business, we will give you an AM 560 marketing package free of charge. That package includes 40 60-second commercials that will air on this station Monday through Friday between 5 a.m. and 8 p.m. If you want to reach an upscale, affluent, engaged audience, then you need to become an AM 560 business benefactor.
Food for the Poor is one of America's largest and most respected charities, and 95 cents of every dollar they raise goes directly to help those in need.
To learn more about how you can become a business benefactor, call Michael Mann at 847-871-1527. Again, that's 847-871-1527. And thank you in advance for your generosity.
AM 560, The Answer.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
We'll talk to Steve Moore about Trump's Tech Exec Summit this afternoon. That's at 7:37.
And rate hike is likely. But let's go into the newsroom first. Here is Mike Scott.
Amy and Dan, 9 degrees above. Some clouds on the early morning commute. Preparing officially the president-elect's choice for energy secretary. In a Donald Trump announcement this morning, the president-elect says the former Texas governor will do a great job. Trump hosts that high-tech summit later today, while last night touting his pick for Secretary of State.
Rex will be a fierce advocate for America's interests around the world and has the insights and talents necessary to help reverse years of foreign policy blunders and disaster.
During the latest stop on his thank you tour in Wisconsin, Trump called ExxonMobil CEO Rex Tillerson one of the most skilled business leaders of our time. But Maryland Senator Ben Cardin has worries about Tillerson's ties with Russia.
His relationship with Mr. Putin, the economic ties that are there, and whether he'll put America's interests first or whether his relationship with Mr. Putin could influence what's in the best interest of America.
The president-elect is also reportedly choosing Montana Congressman Ryan Zinke to head up the Interior Department. Actor Alan Thicke being remembered fondly a day after his death at the age of 69. He suffered a fatal heart attack yesterday playing hockey with his son. Chicago police are searching for a man who tried to abduct a 13-year-old girl on the city's south side. The girl was able to break free and run to safety. Hundreds of Indiana National Guardsmen may have to repay thousands of dollars in re-enlistment bonuses. The word comes after an audit showed more than 440 citizen soldiers may have been given $1.5 million and too much in bonus payments between 2004 and 2015. The Guard says it was a simple accounting error. Timberwolves beat the Bulls in Tom Thibodeau's return to the United Center 99-94. NHL, Blackhawks over the Rangers 2-1. The news, a service of Subway. Now at Subway, Wednesday is Turkey Breast Day. That's today's 356-inch sub of the day. No artificial flavors or colors from artificial sources for just $3.50. It's a great sub for a great price. There's a different 356-inch sub every day, only at Subway. 7:33 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher will always tell it like it is.
He's blasted if he picks people who seem to be regular Washington insiders for his cabinet. And then he picks Ben Carson, the consummate outsider, to head up HUD. And big mouths like me say, well, you know, is Dr. Carson really a good fit? So here I am, part of the problem rather than the solution.
The Mike Gallagher Show. Weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
It's Galaxy's free sale. Free installation, free design, and free financing.
773-783-8300. Call Galaxy.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
Oh my goodness, I am so grateful for it. And my 85-year-old mother, even more so.
I love the product so far. It's been a little over a month now. And I feel great. It's incredible.
It's working good. It's amazing, Glue. I'm able to do more and I feel better. I like it.
With the tremendous success of Dr. Howard's free set of fruits and veggies giveaway and the 120-day health challenge, this holiday season we are doubling down. Call now and see how you can get your free month supply of fruits and veggies, plus a month's supply of fiber and spice, free. Give the gift of health to yourself and loved ones, perhaps the greatest gift you'll ever give.
Call 800-2468-751. That's 800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com.
Use promo code Chicago.
$7:34. Let's get a check of the roads at our AM 560 Traffic Center with Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. Eden's inbound delays start around Oakton. 34 minutes. Lake Cook to Montrose outbound 32 with a stall reported at Dempster in the left lane. Kennedy an hour and 4 minutes. O'Hare to downtown outbound 40 minutes. The Eisenhower 55 minutes. Thorndale to downtown outbound 40. Stevenson 54 minutes. 355 to Lakeshore Drive outbound 35. Ryan 23 minutes. 95th to downtown. Northbound Tri-State. Bottled up from the 83rd Street toll to 47th. The Reagan tollway to the Grand Avenue curve. Veterans Memorial. Traffic is slow. 75th most of the way to Roosevelt. Southbound 53 has delays. Dundee to Palatine Road. There's a medical emergency on the right side. Traffic is a service of Staples. Staples has low prices on technology gifts for everyone, like laptops, tablets, smartphones, even Apple TV. And right now, look for the Staples Tech Gifts coupon book for great ideas, even more savings. While supplies last, U.S. stores only, excludes clearance. Staples, make more happen. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the aircomfort.com Weather Center. Becoming windier, frigid. Watch out for the extreme cold later in the day. We'll top out at 16 and have a low of 4 below overnight. Currently 10 at O'Hare, 12 along the lakefront. Next news at 8. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by The Lou Bridges Show, a show about the truth of the foreclosure crisis. Saturday mornings at 8 on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. So Trump meeting with tech execs today. Bezos from Amazon and Cook from Apple and Kretz from Oracle and what else?
IBM, Cisco. I'm just saying companies.
Rometty is Ginny Rometty who's the CEO of IBM, is a member of Trump's Strategic and Policy Forum. That's a group of business leaders focused on boosting economic growth and jobs. And IBM's doing its part, announcing 25,000 people it will hire over the next 4 years, including 6,000 next calendar year in 2017. So that's some good news going into this meet today. And you're getting some optimistic notes from left-leaning billionaires like, say, a Bill Gates, who was on CNBC yesterday, saying Trump has a chance to be JFK-like in this sense.
I had an opportunity to talk to him about innovation. A lot of his message has been about things where he sees things not as good as he'd like, but in the same way that President Kennedy talked about the space mission and got the country behind that, I think that whether it's education or stopping epidemics, other health breakthroughs, finishing polio, and in this energy space, there can be a very upbeat message that his administration is going to organize things, get rid of regulatory barriers, and have American leadership through innovation be one of the things that he gets behind. And, of course, my whole career has been along those lines, and he was interested in listening to that, and I'm sure there'll be further conversation.
And so, he can be to innovation what JFK was to the space program, is essentially what Gates is saying, which is quite an optimistic note. In addition to that, you had Richard Branson, another billionaire, and he's part of this consortium with Gates of billionaires that are going to invest in renewable energies because they're climate change hawks, if you will. Yeah. Branson had this to say in response to the selection of Rexon, as I call him.
Or Sexy Rexy, as I call
him. Rexon's better. And Sexy Rexy's creepy.
Maybe I'm going in the creepy zone.
Apparently you are. Branson had this response about Tillerson and Trump on climate politics.
If Rex Tillerson is indeed a climate denier, then it's all the more reason for business to step up to the plate. What I'm actually hopeful is that he isn't a climate denier. He said not so long ago that the risks of climate change are very serious and they do warrant action. And what we're hopeful for is that when he's no longer running ExxonMobil and he's actually in a position of great authority in America in government, that he will actually be able to do something about it. I mean, he obviously had a conflict of interest when he was at ExxonMobil, but he is at least somebody that knows that climate change is serious and warrants action. And we will obviously follow up with him and try to make sure that we can work with him in getting something done.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that's the last $20 gin and tonic I have at the Virgin Hotel after hearing Richard Branson talk about climate change politics. By the way, what's a climate denier? Nobody denies we have a climate. There's a
climate change denier.
There's nobody denies there's climate change. The discrepancy is over what it means and what should be done about it from a policy perspective. That's just an easy handle for the left trying to demagogue the issue. Well, for more on all of these issues, we're pleased to be joined by Heritage Foundation Chief Economist and Trump Economic Policy Advisor, Stephen Moore. Steve, thanks for being with us.
Hi, guys. By the way, was that last interview, was that Richard Branson?
Yeah, that was Branson.
I thought that he flew airplanes. Don't airplanes emit carbon into the atmosphere? Or maybe he should shut down his airline if he feels so strongly about reducing carbon emissions. I mean, there's a lot of hypocrisy. Everybody wants somebody else to reduce their carbon emissions, right? But I guarantee you this: this is a president who is going to produce American energy. We're going to produce our oil. We're going to produce our gas. We're going to produce our coal. And I think he's playing this issue right. I mean, he's saying, look, yeah, sure, we're going to do a lot about climate change, but we're not going to do it at the expense of American jobs. And that's exactly the right position. There's no reason that we should put millions of people out of work while China, I don't know if you saw recently, China just a few weeks ago announced they're going to build like 150 new coal plants. It doesn't sound like they're going to,
well, right.
Climate. But
yeah. I mean, Branson is carbon neutral because he just eats kale. That's how he offsets the airplanes. But here's the thing. I mean, to your point, that's why the Paris Accords are so silly, right? Because there's no real enforcement mechanisms against actors like China. And in addition to that, there's a lot of misreading going on about Tillerson. I don't really know his views on this. All he's really said on the topic is, it's an issue to look at. And as far as investing in renewable energies, we're not doing that because I'm not in the business to lose money. And so, so that's an economic decision, not a political statement. We'll have to see what happens at the confirmation hearings in terms of questions along these lines and what Tillerson's views are, I suppose.
I don't know Rex Tillerson well. I know him a bit. When I was at the Wall Street Journal editorial board, about every 6 months, he would come in and, give us his views of the world. And the guy is fascinating. He's brilliant. He was a great CEO. And I actually very much applaud the idea that we're bringing in people into the government who are actually business people. The state, the foreign policy establishment, what I call the foreign policy industrial complex in Washington, they're up in arms about this. Oh, my God, he knows nothing about foreign policy. He's never worked with the State Department. He's never been a diplomat. Well, that's exactly what we need, actually. And the State Department is this vast bureaucracy of left-wingers. I hope Rex Tillerson goes in there and just cleans house and brings in people who are pro-America, cuts the bureaucracy there, and puts, look, what is the theme of this president? It's put America first. And I think Tillerson is a guy who will do that. But he's an oil man. And
Right.
obviously he's pro-American oil production. I mean, that was his business.
But here's the thing. I was so optimistic, so happy when I heard that Condi Rice and James Baker and Bob Gates.
Oh, amazing.
Well, they recommended Rex Tillerson to Donald Trump. But here's the thing. They all three work for law firms who represent Exxon.
Bob.
I didn't know that.
Bob.
And consulting firms.
Paul Ryan doesn't. Bob Corker doesn't.
I don't know.
Newt
But,
Gingrich doesn't.
There's a
etc.
$500 billion deal on hold from Rosneft, which is the oil conglomerate, the giant in Russia, and Exxon. And that deal is on hold because of U.S. sanctions. So that might be hard during the Senate confirmation hearings when they ask him about that, because if he's so close with Putin and becomes Secretary of State, then at some point in time they can lift the sanctions, and then there's $500 billion deal.
Look, Amy, it is a fair point. You're right. We want to make sure that the people who are representing our government don't have business conflicts of interest. But on the other hand, I mean, people are saying every decision Donald Trump makes is going to have some kind of conflict of interest. And the problem with that is if you take that down a slippery slope, it means the only people who can be in government are people who don't have any business interest whatsoever. And I think they're the people who've really driven our government into the ground with these trillion-dollar debts. So, look, you're right that, people have to have the national interest at stake when they make these decisions. But just the fact that he's run an oil company should not be a disqualification. I mean, he's a successful man.
Switching gears, I want to talk about the Tech Exec Summit that's happening today. We mentioned it at the outset. Very interesting piece by Jared Carl from the Hoover Institution in Nash Review Online yesterday that previews that a little bit and suggests that because of the use of H-1B visas by many of these successful Silicon Valley companies, immigration is going to be central to the meeting today. Do you agree with that? Are we going to have Trump and these CEOs from the tech sector talk about immigration policy, maybe get a better understanding of where Trump is coming from?
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, look, I'm very pro-legal immigration. We need to build a wall. We need to have much stricter enforcement of illegal immigration. The voters have spoken out. They want that policy. But I think we do need, the scientists and the mathematicians and the engineers and the people who are going to build these new technologies. I mean, I've been to Silicon Valley many times. I've gone to places like Google, and I've been to Microsoft and Washington. You go into the laboratories, and it's like the United Nations. I mean, it's nowhere else do you have the greatest minds from all over the world developing technologies here in the United States. So yeah, and by the way, Donald Trump has said, yeah, we want skilled people. We want people who want to contribute and work, who come in through the legal channels. So we need them, and Silicon Valley needs them. And by the way, those immigrants actually create jobs for other Americans. They have a high tendency to, build new businesses and make our American businesses more successful and profitable. So I'm all for it.
How happy were you, admit it, when Donald Trump decided to go with Rex Tillerson as opposed to my guy, Mitt Romney?
You know what, Amy? It made my day. I was terrible. Remember on your show, it was a week or two ago, I was hyperventilating over Mitt Romney. But, my question for you, Amy, is, are you now wearing, I heard a rumor that you're now wearing Make America Great hats. Is that true?
You know what? I did have one, and I did put it on my head, and then I lost it in Cleveland. I'm not kidding you. Dan, did you steal my hat?
I'm in Phoenix, Arizona today. I'm looking out the window. It's 66 degrees. What's the temperature there?
Yeah, right.
Okay,
it's 65 less than that, I think, at this point, at least wind chill wise. Let me, Steve, what about the rest
By the way, look, I got a little rumor to tell you, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Okay, you can't. This is off the record, okay?
Of course,
we
yes.
won't tell a soul.
All right. It's like the James Mattis announcement.
I think there's a good chance my good buddy, Larry Kudlow, a great supply senator, is going to be the next chairman of the President's Council of Economic Advisors.
Oh, good.
Really?
That's great.
Yeah.
That's a great choice. Very good.
We won't tell a soul.
Oh, well, so, okay. Well, so that's a perfect segue. All right. So,
I would go into the administration, but I have way too many conflicts of interest.
right. Yeah. It's just like Tillerson. You've got all these, millions, hundreds of millions of dollars you've got to move around. So what about in terms of economic policy, your assessment on the cabinet selections, including, this is relevant, Rick Perry at Energy, in addition to Mnuchin at Treasury, obviously Kudlow at Council of Economic Advisors speaks for itself from your perspective. The economic policy team that Trump has put together.
It's very good. It's outstanding, actually. I mean, I love Rick Perry. I was actually hoping he'd be the Secretary of Defense, but he'll be great at energy. I mean, my gosh, you've got a Texas oil man now running the Energy Department, and you got the head of Exxon running the State Department. So that tells you where we're headed towards energy policy. I don't know Gary Cohn. He's the one mystery, frankly. Everybody's like, where did this guy come from? He's not, he's not part of the conservative movement. He's not been, in fact, very involved in Republican politics. So everybody's a little confused by that. I worked with Steve Mnuchin, who's the Treasury Secretary, on the tax plan. I mean, as you guys know, Steve Mnuchin, Larry Kudlow, and I designed the tax plan that Trump is now going to, get through Congress and change the country. So Mnuchin's a great guy. I'm excited about this team. And if the rumors are right that Larry Kudlow is going to be the head of the CEA, I mean, that's fantastic because there's no greater communicator and just a guy who's got his head straight on more than my buddy Larry Kudlow. The guy's like a brother to me. So I'm excited about that, and I'd love to go work for him. I mean, he's so smart, and I think he will be the voice of the administration on economics, and that is great news.
That is great news, and I'm fine with a few generals. I don't want too many Goldman Sachs guys. To your point about Mnuchin and Cohen. Yes, all right.
What is it about Goldman, by the way? No matter what party is in power, the administrations are infiltrated with Goldman Sachs people, and of course, then every decision the government seems to make. Oh, isn't it funny how Goldman always comes out smelling like a rose?
Yes, AIG bailout. All right, Steve Moore. He is, of course, the Heritage Foundation chief economist and Trump campaign economic advisor. Steve, thanks for joining us. As usual, appreciate it.
I'm coming to Chicago next week for Christmas, so can you get the temperature up above freezing?
We will work on that. Yeah, we'll work on that.
You'll
thanks,
have a
Steve.
white Christmas.
Take care.
All right, thanks. Okay, good talk. And he joined us on our Turnkey.Pro answer line.
Listen to Dan and Amy on your smartphone. Download the AM560 mobile app today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Okay. Everybody loves free stuff. Tony and Tina's wedding. Pay attention. It's back in Chicago and better than ever. Audience members, don't just watch this show. You participate as guests of the bride and groom, and no two performances are ever the same. So right now, we are giving away 2 tickets to Tony and Tina's wedding. Be caller number 10 to 312-642-5600. Again, caller 10 to 312-642-5600 right now. We'll win a pair of tickets to Tony and Tina's wedding, which is at Chicago's Theater Works. To find out more information, visit TonyLovesTina.com. Weather, we're taking the Arctic plunge, that's for sure. Dangerously cold out there. We're going to have a wind chill advisory in effect at 9 o'clock tonight through tomorrow. Today, we're going to have a frigid high of 16 degrees. Tonight, a low of -4. And Thursday, dangerously cold wind chills, -20 degrees, a high of just 7. Let's get it to it. Here's the Jim Talamonte in our traffic center.
Thanks, Amy. Southbound 53 has delays. Dundee to Kirchhoff. There was an earlier medical emergency. And then on the Veterans Memorial, so southbound North Avenue to Roosevelt, northbound from Fountain Toll to the Reagan Tollway. Eden's 30 minutes. Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 35. Stall at Dempster in the left lane. Kennedy, an hour and 3 minutes. O'Hare to downtown, outbound 39 minutes. The Ike, an hour and 12 minutes. Thorndale to the Loop, outbound 41 minutes. Stevenson, an hour and 2 minutes. 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive. Ryan, 25 minutes, 95th to downtown. I'm Jim Talamonte in the AM 560 Traffic Center.
Gentlemen, Dan Proft here. This time of year can be exhausting and stressful, but if you feel a lack of energy and motivation, no matter what time of year, it's time to get your testosterone levels checked. Stress is associated with low testosterone and can worsen symptoms like fatigue, trouble sleeping, and can affect your mood. I personally recommend going to Low T Center. Like you, I loathe going to the doctor, but at Low T Center, they make it easy. You walk in, take a simple blood test, and with the convenience of their on-site lab, you get your results in about 20 minutes. So if you're drinking coffee or energy drinks just to get through the day, or if you always feel like you need a nap after lunch, you may have low T. Low T levels can make you feel tired and grumpy, raise your cholesterol, and cause weight gain. Low T Center accepts most health insurance, is in-network, considered in-network by most insurance companies. It has flexible hours, including Saturdays, so don't hesitate to find out what your number is. I'm sure glad I did. It's also important to note all services that Low T offers, FDA approved. So call my friends at Low T Center today and tell them Dan Proft sent you. Call 630-409-4305. That number, 630-409-4305. Again, 630-409-4305, or visit them online at lowtcenter.com.
I'm Jay Farner, president of Quicken Loans. Mortgage rates have dropped again. In fact, recently, mortgage rates have dropped to the second lowest level in history. Now is the time for you to take advantage of these historically low rates and save serious money every month by refinancing your mortgage. The rate today on a 30-year fixed-rate mortgage is all the way down to 4.125%. APR, 4.82%. Call Quicken Loans today at 800-QUICKEN to see how far we can lower your mortgage payment. For 6 years in a row now, J.D. Power has ranked Quicken Loans highest in the nation in customer satisfaction for primary mortgage origination. And for the third year, they also ranked us highest in the nation for mortgage servicing. It's a great time to refinance with Quicken Loans and save hundreds every month. This ultra-low rate of 4.125% won't last long. So call 800-QUICKEN or go to QuickenLoans.com. That's 800-QUICKEN.
Visit jdpower.com for award information. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLS ConsumerAccess.org, number 3030.
Hey guys, check this out. There's a brand new technology that's going to drive your wife, girlfriend, third wife, fifth wife wild. It's probably not what you're thinking. It's even better. It's called Micro Velvet, and it's created by the PJ experts over at Pajamagram, and it's all found only in their Tempting Touch PJs. That's right, Tempting Touch PJs are simply the softest, most luxurious pajamas ever imagined. They're addictively soft. They beg to be touched. So go to pajamagram.com and get her the blissful comfort
I'm picking up what you're putting down.
and know that she deserves. It's a higher level of soft, softer than her sweetest dreams and yours. They're tempting to wear and tempting to touch. And when she's happy, you'll be happy too. A holiday gift has never felt this tempting. You don't even have to wrap because, as you know, every Pajamagram includes free gift packaging. Christmas Day delivery guaranteed, so visit Pajamagram.com. That's Pajamagram.com, or call 1-800-GIVE-PJs. That's 1-800-GIVE-PJs.
And now, a moment of objectivism with Yaron Brook and the Ayn Rand Institute.
Each year as Christmas approaches, I hear people complaining that the holiday has become too commercial. But gift giving is one of the things I like best about Christmas. It's a great way of showing affection and goodwill to coworkers, friends, and loved ones. People will say that's materialistic, but it's actually a beautiful combination of the spiritual and the material. The gifts we exchange are a celebration of the personal values that make life worth living. Despite its pagan origins and Christian mythology, Christmas is a secular holiday celebrated by men and women of goodwill all over the world, including atheists like me. From the Ayn Rand Institute, wishing you a very Merry Christmas, I'm Yaron Brook.
This has been a moment of objectivism from the Ayn Rand Institute. To learn more, listen to the Yaron Brook Show, Saturdays at 4 on AM 560, and visit ariradio.com.
If you enjoy Yaron Brook's Moments of Objectivism, consider making a gift to support content like this from the Ayn Rand Institute. ARI fosters a growing awareness, understanding, and acceptance of Ayn Rand's philosophy of objectivism to create a culture guided by the principles of reason, rational self-interest, individualism, and laissez-faire capitalism. To support this work, go to ariradio.com and click on the Donate button. Your tax-deductible gift will help to spread the message of Ayn Rand to the next generation.
This is Dan Proft with 60 Seconds of Sanity. Donald Trump is not the hero never-Trump conservative intellectuals wanted, but perhaps the one we needed. His cabinet is a veritable conservative super friends. Assembled at the Trump Tower of Justice is a diverse array of crusaders who have saved jobs, provided educational scholarships for poor kids, and generally fought for truth, justice, and the American way. In short, they're innovators who've implemented solutions rooted in conservative thought in business, the military, medicine, the law, and our schools. They feature real-world accomplishments. Courage is the superpower common among them. It's the most important shared value of all. As C.S. Lewis observed in the Screwtape Letters, courage is the form of every virtue at the testing point. In other words, if you don't possess courage, it's impossible to exhibit any other virtue because you will wilt when pressed. It is readily apparent that there will be no shrinking violets in Trump's rose garden. Yet their heroic instincts will be tested by the D.C. ruling class. So can Trump's super friends defeat the Potomac potentates and return power to the people? Stay tuned for our next exciting episode.
Here's some great news. Jack Tabota of Tabota & Associates can help you with your retirement game plan. You know Jack, or you should. Jack is the president and founder of Tabota & Associates. He's been helping folks just like you retire successfully for 3 decades. Jack has the insight, information, strategies, and experience you can use to build wealth and keep it. Live good. Retire well with Jack Tabota of Tabota & Associates. 630-777-7955. 630-777-7955.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
Hi, I'm Mick O'Rourke, President and CEO of Signature Bank. We'd like to wish you happy holidays from our Signature Bank family to your family.
I'm Kevin Vestuga, co-founder of Signature Bank. There's no better place to be for the holidays than Chicago.
And this is Brian Duncan, co-founder of Signature Bank. Whether it's ice skating under the lights at Millennium Park,
or, my favorite, visiting Candy Cane Lane in Lincolnwood to see the Noonan House with the tree magically rising through the roof.
Or attending the annual tree lighting in downtown Downers Grove.
We wish you the very best this holiday season from Signature Bank, Chicago's business bank.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. Learn more about turning your business vision into reality. Visit signature-bank.com. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Congratulations to Brad from Minooka, the winner of Tony and Tina tickets. Minooka. You know what that reminds me of?
No, but we're up against the clock.
Robbie Mook.
Here's Mike Scott.
Bitter cold hit Chicagoland, and the Blackhawks edge the Rangers. WIND Chicago News Time, 8 o'clock.
Fox News Radio, I'm Dave Anthony. This was the day thousands of Syrian civilians were going to be evacuated from Aleppo. But those buses have been sent away empty because fierce fighting has broken out again, ending an hours-old ceasefire. Fox's Jessica Gallagher live in our Middle East Bureau.
Dave, the ceasefire between Syria and rebels has effectively collapsed. The opposition and activists report that Syria began shelling the besieged city after dawn as buses were waiting to take the opposition and civilians out of rebel-held districts. They returned to their bus depots. A media activist claims aircraft bombed rebel-held districts like there was no ceasefire or the evacuation of civilians. Moscow is blaming the opposition for the fighting. The United Nations is urging that civilian safety should come first. Dave.
Jessica, Donald Trump will hold a summit later today with leaders of Apple and Amazon and other technology executives. Many of them were hardly Trump supporters. Months ago, more than 100 Silicon Valley execs wrote an open letter calling then-candidate Trump a disaster for innovation. A few hours ago, he announced he wants another former rival during the Republican primaries to be his energy secretary, former Texas Governor Rick Perry.
A department he once said he would get rid of if he were elected president. And Montana Republican Congressman Ryan Zinke is expected to be nominated for Secretary of the Interior.
That's Fox's Garrett Tenney. In Wisconsin last night, the president-elect said he'll be
rebuilding this country with American hands and with American workers.
The president-elect thanked his supporters, and standing in front of 2 tall, trimmed trees, he said, "We are going to say Merry Christmas again." There's news just out showing we didn't start the holiday shopping season with a lot of spending. Retail sales rose just 0.1% in November, but because of other signs of an improving economy, Federal Reserve policymakers are expected to raise a key interest rate for the first time in a year later today. Fox News Radio, fair and balanced.
Some clouds this morning, 9 degrees above with a wind chill of 4 below. 8:02 is our time on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. Chicago police are searching for a man who tried to abduct a 13-year-old girl on the city's south side. Authorities say the suspect grabbed the teen this week in the 800 block of East 63rd. The girl was then able to break free and run to safety. A judge ordering the city of Chicago to hold off on implementing a new home-sharing ordinance. City Council signed off on a measure over the summer that places restrictions on homeowners renting their spaces out on companies like Airbnb. A nonprofit called Keep Chicago Livable filed a lawsuit last month attempting to block the new rules. Hundreds of Indiana National Guardsmen may have to repay thousands of dollars in re-enlistment bonuses. The word comes after an audit showed more than 440 citizen soldiers may have been given $1.5 million too much in bonus payments between 2004 and 2015. Mayor Emanuel tapping Anna Valencia to serve as Chicago's new city clerk, replacing Susana Mendoza. Charges are pending following an armed bank robbery in Skokie. Robbery happened yesterday evening at a First Bank and Trust branch on Skokie Boulevard. And jurors at Chicago's Hobo Gang trial have watched chilling video of a boy describing seeing his stepdad shot and killed by someone he called a monster. It was played Tuesday at the trial of 6 alleged gang members. Prosecutors say one, Paris Poe, killed an informant as his 4-year-old stepdaughter and 6-year-old stepson watched. NBA last night, Tom Thibodeau back in town. And you put money on Tibbs when he comes to town, and he wins 99-94. Timberwolves over the Bulls. Blackhawks over the Rangers 2-1. The news service of Positive Coaching Alliance. If you're involved in youth or high school sports, you need to know about Positive Coaching Alliance. PCA, a national nonprofit organization, develops better athletes and better people. Visit positivecoach.org. 8:04. Time for the AM 560 Business Beat from the Fox Business Network, a service of Turnkey.pro. Here's Jenny Casola.
From the Fox Business Network, the Dow Jones Industrials stand at 19,911. The Dow has advanced 8% since Election Day, now within 100 points of the 20,000 mark. The Federal Reserve is expected to raise interest rates by 1/4 percentage point today. The Fed could also have some comments about the state of the economy. Greg McBride, chief financial analyst at Bankrate.com, says if there are more increases, you could feel it if you have an adjustable home equity loan.
You could see a big jump if the Fed has raised interest rates a couple or 3 times since your last adjustment. Your payment could jump $100 a month, and that's the thing that could sneak up on people and cause some problems for tight household budgets.
French drug company Sanofi is reportedly in talks to purchase Actelion Pharmaceuticals, which makes blood pressure medications. The Dow added 114 yesterday, NASDAQ up 51, S&P gained 14. With the Fox Business Report, I'm Ginny Cosola.
8:05 in Chicago, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Christmas is less than a month away, and this year, give the gift of sunshine. Grab your passport to paradise and join Dan Proft, Amy Jacobson, and Joe Walsh at Secrets Cap Cana Resort and Spa in beautiful Punta Cana. It's an unlimited luxury adults-only resort with all the amenities you can imagine. Give this trip as a gift to a loved one or treat yourself this holiday season. Visit 560theanswer.com and search for the keyword passport.
Every year, guys open their holiday presents and you hear, "No, really, I love it." That's because finding the perfect gift for guys is hard, really hard. Thankfully, this year, there's Harry's. Guys everywhere have been flocking to Harry's.com to change the way they shave. This holiday season, impress the guys on your list with a Harry's Holiday Shave Set. All of their holiday shave sets include the finely crafted razors they've become known for, guaranteed to give him the close, comfortable shave he deserves. On top of that, the shave sets also include Harry's highly rated shaving cream, extra blades, and more. Harry's is the gift he'll actually use. And Harry's owns their own factory, so they're able to make high-quality shaving supplies incredibly affordable. You can get Harry's holiday shave sets for every guy on your list this year. You can even add engraved initials to make it more personal. So head over to Harry's.com to get him the gift he'll truly love. Use the code 8811 when you check out, and you'll even get $5 off your first purchase. That's Harry's.com, code 8811.
8:07. Let's check the roads in our AM 560 traffic center with Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. On the inbound Kennedy, it's jammed. Austin to the burn circle, an hour and 7 minutes. O'Hare to downtown, 42 minutes from Montrose, 31 on the express. Outbound 33 to the airport. Eden's 31 minutes. Lake Coast to Montrose, outbound 40. The Eisenhower's an hour and 12 minutes from Thorndale to downtown, 52 minutes from Manheim, outbound 40 to Thorndale. Stevenson, an hour and 6 minutes, 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 37 minutes. The Ryan, 27 minutes, 95th to the Loop. Tri-State southbound, slow 120 to 137. Northbound, it's stop and go 95th to the Hinsdale Oasis up to the Reagan Tollway to North Avenue. Reagan Tollway very slow, Farnsworth to Yackley with a crash on the right side. Veterans Memorial delays. The Mountain Toll to the Reagan Tollway and Army Trail to 290. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560. The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the AirComfort.com Weather Center, here's the very latest with meteorologist Kevin Snyder.
Wind chill advisory in effect 9 p.m. this evening until 10 a.m. tomorrow. For today, sun and clouds, wind gusts up to 30 miles per hour, a high of 16, wind chill values 0 to 10 below zero. Partly cloudy, windy, and frigid tonight with a low of -4. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
Currently, we have 10 degrees at O'Hare, 12 degrees along Chicago's lakefront. It is 8 this morning in Aurora. Your next news update is at 8:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by the Ayn Rand Institute and the Yaron Brook Show. Heard Saturday afternoons at 4 here on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning. Welcome to your Wednesday morning briefing. Here's what you need to know to start your day.
Rex will be a fierce advocate for America's interests around the world and has the insights and talents necessary to help reverse years of foreign policy blunders and disasters.
And they know if I say no, it means no. And talking about it more isn't going to change that no. It's still going to be no.
In the same way that President Kennedy talked about the space mission and got the country behind that, I think that whether it's education or stopping epidemics, other health breakthroughs, finishing polio, and in this energy space, there can be a very upbeat message.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. So, on his schedule today, in between celebrities and whatnot, in between a Jim Brown and a Ray Lewis and whoever else is on the agenda, Trump has an important meeting with Silicon Valley tech execs. And in advance of that, some good news we reported earlier, IBM announcing it's going to hire 25,000 workers in the U.S. in the next 4 years, as many as 6,000 next year, investing $1 billion on employee training and development for these quote-unquote new-collar jobs. And Bill Gates weighing in, hitting a couple of optimistic notes in advance of this meeting in terms of Trump and the opportunity he has to to drive innovation, both in terms of economic growth as well as in terms of other areas that Gates has an interest in, like eradication of disease. Right. And Gates also addressed the issue of Trump trade policy, and he did so gently, but made an important point.
I don't think it'd be a good deal to have trade relations between China and the U.S. really fall apart. And so I feel sure that he and the team he brings around them, even as they try and tune things, they won't want the lose-lose that you would get if you start to get large tariff walls. There are challenges. A lot of the strength of the U.S. economy comes from exporters. And, so if you're trying to suppress imports, then you can get into a situation where countries are raising tariff walls. Now, the president-elect is very sophisticated. I hope he's thought through how he's going to get some adjustment there without that typical sort of a tariff tit for tat.
Yeah, so the bottom line here, Trump's too sophisticated to start a trade war. There's no problem in trying to hammer China on issues like piracy. and maybe international trade agreements. But you don't want to start a trade war. And you know who may echo those thoughts of a Bill Gates on one of the cabinet secretaries that may is Rex Tillerson, Rexon, as I have now termed him.
That's a good one.
Because Exxon, it's worth noting, 64% of its total sales are foreign, 60% of its total workforce foreign. So, those companies that are largely in the export business and you don't need trade barriers to global markets. And this will be very interesting to see how Trump massages the sort of protectionist, quote-unquote, fair trade policies he's advanced in the campaign and since with the interests of economic growth in America. And probably
jobs.
Well,
that's all he said last night.
Probably be one of the topics discussed today with these Silicon Valley CEOs, too. For more on that, we're pleased to be joined by Blake Berman. He is a Washington correspondent for Fox Business Network. Blake, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Hey, guys. Good morning. Did I hear right that it's 10 degrees where you guys are?
No, it's 5.
We're hoping to get to 10. Yes, we're aspiring to 10
Okay, and we're
today.
doing the show outside today
Yes,
without our
right.
hats and gloves
Yeah.
because we're tough.
It's like in the 40s here, and we thought that was cold, but I guess.
Aw, I'll send you a blanket.
Well, so with respect to the meeting with these tech heavyweights, Nadella from Microsoft and Bezos from Amazon and Sheryl Sandberg from Facebook and Elon Musk and so forth, what is on the agenda to the extent it's known, or are we kind of guessing trade policy and immigration and those sorts of topics?
Well, the Trump the transition folks haven't yet specifically laid out exactly who's going to be there, what the agenda is going to be. But I mean, just in hearing everything that what they're saying going into this, they are talking about innovation is a buzzword. They are talking about jobs. That's what the president-elect wants to talk with this group about. Jason Miller, who is the top spokesperson for the transition, was actually on our air on the Fox Business Network a couple minutes ago, and was listening to him. And as you know, this was a group that was not very friendly to then candidate Trump. This is a group, largely Silicon Valley, the tech industry, that backed, for the most part, by and large, Hillary Clinton. And the Trump folks are saying going into this, that look, the president-elect realizes that this is a crucial group, a group of leaders in this specific industry, and he wants to talk about innovation, and he wants to talk about jobs. Of course, one would guess that taxes and offshore money and the like would come into the equation today. But yeah, those are the few things you would think: innovation, jobs, taxes, regulations that they'll be discussing here later this afternoon in New York.
So why do you think the companies that are being represented are generally keeping a low profile about this event?
They are. We were trying to confirm yesterday with a bunch of, these names have been thrown out for a few days, and we were emailing a bunch of companies yesterday, and some got back to us and some didn't.
Really?
And I guess that's because, some either they want to keep the secret or who knows. But yeah, it's been somewhat of a low profile. I mean, the transition folks normally walk you through, who's going to be in and out of Trump Tower the next day. And yesterday they didn't do that, maybe because, that list was still a moving target. But the names are pretty much out there, and who you talked about: Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Tim Cook, Sheryl Sandberg of Facebook, Safra Catz, Oracle, the Alphabet, the top people from Google, Larry Page, that they're expected to be there. So it's going to be an interesting room, no doubt.
Yeah, you're going to have somebody there to help translate Republican to those Silicon Valley execs. I wonder if that person would be Peter Thiel. I mean, he's sort of the black swan in Silicon Valley with respect to this election, supporting Donald Trump and really offering some pointed messages to his Silicon Valley brethren. How important a role is Thiel playing in all of this?
Well, Peter Thiel has been the one, as you mentioned, that's been, out front and center in supporting Donald Trump, then his candidacy, and certainly now that he's the president-elect. He held an event here in Washington a few days or a few weeks before the election. that we were at, in which he said basically, look, I don't agree with everything that Mr. Trump says, but he felt that no doubt that he was the better of the two candidates between him and Hillary Clinton, really the best candidates that were out there. He did say he would have liked to have seen a Trump versus Sanders election. But either way, he made it seem that Mr. Trump was his pick. And since then, he's kind of been the outreach guy for Silicon Valley. There's an article in the Wall Street Journal today talking about how it's been Peter Thiel and Jared Kushner. Kushner, the son-in-law married to Ivanka Trump, who those two have been the ones to kind of put this meeting together. And it was interesting as well that the president-elect, I should say, has this advisory team that he's putting together. A group of a dozen, 15 or so, I think the number might now be up to 16, of top business leaders who are going to be helping him out face-to-face, sitting down with him when he is at the White House. So the first meeting is February. And today, ahead of this meeting, the transition team said that Elon Musk, of course you know him of Tesla and SpaceX fame, and Travis Kalanick of Uber would be joining that group as well. So the outreach started with Peter Thiel, I guess you could say, and it is most certainly continuing now with the president-elect trying to bring this group, together, or at least hear out their thoughts and concerns.
Hey, Blake, do you have any idea why the founder of Twitter is not going to be at the meeting? Because Donald Trump, we all know, loves to tweet.
Yeah, that's a good question. Don't know. Don't have that answer. Maybe when we get a final list here, we're hoping the Trump folks put it out and we can jump on the phone with them in the next hour. But no answer for you on that one. Good question, though.
Maybe we'll have to
Where's
tweet that.
Jack Dorsey?
We'll tweet that at Jack Dorsey.
Yeah.
It's interesting to note, though. I mean, that some have reported, now comes the day of reckoning for Silicon Valley CEOs. And it doesn't sound like much of a day of reckoning. It sounds like a rapprochement where Trump is trying to enlist them for parts of his policy agenda and probably explain in more detail some of his perspective on these issues of particular concern to them, different than how they were reported during the campaign.
Yeah, and there was a very public spat, at least one-sided, with candidate Trump and Jeff Bezos, the CEO of Amazon, who are the head of Amazon, who also owns the Washington Post, and it is pretty much out there that the Washington Post wasn't, the friendliest of newspapers toward Mr. Trump, and he went at him. Trump did, Bezos, and the Washington Post consistently throughout the campaign. And Jason Miller was just asked about this on our air minutes ago. What is it going to be like this afternoon when Donald Trump and Jeff Bezos are in the same room together? And he basically said, look, this is the president-elect trying to reach out to folks. They're going to talk about jobs. And he said, Miller did, the spokesperson, that this would be a, quote, great step, is how he put it.
All right. He is Blake Berman. He's a Washington correspondent for Fox Business Network. Blake, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thanks. Stay warm out there.
Thank you.
Thanks. And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
The stories you need to know to start your day. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Promise we'll talk about the passing of Alan Thicke. Heartbroken. Just heartbroken. Sun and clouds today, but the real weather woe is the wind chill factor. We're going to have a high of 16 degrees, but when factor in the wind, it'll be in the single digits. Tonight, a low of -4. And then tomorrow, mostly sunny, but very cold, dangerously cold. A high of 7 degrees, but wind chills could dip to -20 degrees. Be sure to wear your sunscreen. Let's see where the cars are. Here's Jim Telemonte.
3 has southbound delays, Rand to Kirchhoff, Beesterfield to Thorndale. Northbound Veterans Memorial is very slow. Mountain Toll to the Reagan Tollway and Army Trail to 290. Southbound Army Trail to Roosevelt. Edens, the travel time from Lake Hook to Montrose, 31 minutes. Outbound 40. The Kennedy, an hour and 7 minutes. O'Hare to downtown. Outbound 33 minutes. The Ike, an hour and 15 minutes. Thorndale to the post office. 54 minutes from Manheim. Outbound 37 to Thorndale. Stevenson, an hour and 8 minutes. 355 to Lakeshore Drive. It's fine outbound. Orion, 27 minutes from 95th to downtown. Tri-State southbound, slow 120 to 137. Northbound, 95th to the Hinsdale Oasis and from the Reagan Tollway to North Avenue. I'm Jim Talamonte in the AM 560 Traffic Center.
Have you ever accidentally deleted a file and gone into panic mode? Are you still trying to figure out cloud migration? Do you know how to implement a hybrid integration? Well, if you want to save time and money, then let the professionals at Turnkey IT customize a solution that's sized just right for your company. For 20 years now, locally owned and operated, Turnkey IT has become the brand businesses trust for their IT needs. Why? Because Turnkey IT understands small businesses just like yours. They have monthly plans available for your team of 100 or a plan customized for your individual system. Turnkey IT has a solution. They even have equipment included if you want to go all in. Their team of professionals help users every day with network monitoring to help desk to on-site support 24/7, yes, even on the weekends and holidays. So stop worrying about your technology and let it work for you. Visit turnkey.pro today to see how simple and affordable it can be to focus on your business. Turnkey.pro, that's turnkey.pro.
Here's microbiologist Dr. Kim O'Neill talking about balance of nature.
Scientific research has shown that many cancers and lifestyle diseases can be prevented with a diet rich in fruits and vegetables. This prevention comes from the phytochemicals in the plants. They fight against oxidants that damage the cell's DNA, causing mutations that lead to disease. I don't take any supplementation, but I take Balance of Nature because I know, I've seen it in my lab, and I know that it works. I've seen the immune response increase, I've seen your DNA repair capacity increase, and I've seen DNA protection. And that, to me, as a scientist, rings so true, and it's only natural.
Call now to find out how to get your free month's supply of Balance of Nature. Call 800-2468-751. That's 800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code CHICAGO.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, before we get to food for the poor, this is just too delicious to pass up, and I want to take judicial notice of it. You know, in the New York Times, a public editor after the election said we're going to try honest reporting.
That's right.
They tried it for a month, didn't like it, so they're not doing that anymore. They hired Glenn Thrush from Politico. Glenn Thrush, who self-described as a hack in those Podesta emails, who submitted stories he was writing for Politico to the Clinton campaign for approval. He's now over at the New York Times. So honest reporting by the board. Here's another admission. This is fascinating. The New York Times executive editor, Dean Baquet, in an interview in New York, a program called Fresh Air, admitted the newspaper knows nothing about religion and the role it plays in people's lives.
Wow.
Quoting Dean Baquet, I want to make sure that we are much more creative about beats out in the country. Out in the country. Oh, yeah. So that we understand the anger and disconnections that people feel. And I think I used religion as an example because I was raised Catholic in New Orleans. I think that the New York-based and Washington-based, two probably media powerhouses, don't quite get religion. We have a fabulous religion writer, but she's all alone. That's not true, the first part of it, the fabulous religion writer. We don't get religion. We don't get the role of religion in people's lives, and I think we can do much, much better. And I think there are things that we can be more creative about to understand the country. Right, people who believe they're their own gods don't understand people who don't. Bree Payton in The Federalist has a nice write-up on this, citing some of the great religion coverage previously provided by the New York Times, including the newspaper thinking Christians think Christ's body is still buried. This is another one that there was a reporter was filing stories from Vatican City, thought Easter was about Jesus' ascension into heaven. Didn't realize, Jesus ascended 40 days after the resurrection. Right. Also, the New York Times cited the United Church of Christ as the largest Protestant denomination in America. They're not. But United Church of Christ is uber liberal, particularly on biblical teachings on morality. So that's probably why they were rooting for them. And on another one, Molly Hemingway wrote on this, where a New York Times political reporter claimed the book of Romans called for the execution of gays, which is just a preposterous bastardization of the passages the New York Times political reporter Jeremy Peters cited. So this is just fascinating, this admission from the New York Times. They know nothing about religion, and don't have any particular interest. And based on their performance, no interest in getting very much right about religions they report on or opine about. And so this is not news to anybody that's consumed the New York Times, but it's interesting to see a little bit of self-reflection going on in the wake of the election and the surprise that was foisted upon the D.C. establishment and the D.C. press corps. I just wanted to take note of that because I'm smiling about it.
Yes, you are. And we're going to be smiling even more when we reach our goal this year, this Christmas season, of providing food and water for a year, and food for a year and water for life for 1,500 children in Haiti and Guatemala.
Oh, by the way, this is what people of faith do, New York Times. They provide for their fellow man through private initiative. I just wanted to alert the New York Times to this.
Yeah.
Maybe they do a story on to learn more about religion and people of faith.
Yes, and Food for the Poor has been faithful to the community of Haiti. They've been on the ground since 1982. Why we partnered up with them is because 95 cents of every dollar, Dan, goes directly to the people in need. It's a different kind of poor. I mean, Haiti is the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere. And now that Hurricane Matthew hit, it's even worse. Starvation is real, and they desperately need food, clean water, medical supplies, clothes. So we're asking for a one-time donation of $50. With that, you will provide food for a year for one child and clean water for life. Call 855-880-3663. That's 855-880-3663 food, or just simply dial pound 250 on your cell phone and say the word food. Operators are standing by.
Yeah, Haiti does not have the capacity to produce the food it needs for its people indigenously. That's why they need the support from generous Americans like you. And in addition to the individual contributions, we have our business benefactor program, $2,500 tax-deductible donation to Food for the Poor on behalf of your business. And AM 560 is going to respond to your generosity with our own 40 60-second commercials that will air on our airwaves, the prime broadcasting hours of 5 a.m. to 8 p.m. Monday through Friday. That's the best advertising deal in all of Chicago radio. And to take advantage of it, you call our sales director. His name is Michael Mann. His number is 847-871-1527. Again, 847-871-1527 to join these great companies in participating in our business benefactor program. They include Center Stage Dance Studio, Cashcasters.com, Americal Products Corp., SKC Construction, Greg Berman, Madden Management Production and Logistics, Kevin Berquist, MyPartsGarage.com, Twin Supplies, Haymarket Center, Gatto Platers, Champion Roofing, C.H. Hansen, AmericanEagle.com, Townhouse Interiors, and so many more.
Yes, C-Pro, Joe Cotton Ford. I know those folks over there are great people, and you can join this list. You can help those in need and help your business as well. Slots are filling up fast, so if you're thinking about it, just call Michael Mann, ask him any questions. But again, slots are going quickly. Call Michael Mann directly, 847-871-1527. That's 847-871-1527. And we thank you in advance for your generosity.
You've made the switch, and it feels so good. You switched to Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Last winter was pretty much a piece of cake, but this winter, we're told, is gonna be a doozy.
Well, the Farmer's Almanac forewarns that bitterly cold, if not downright frigid, numbing cold weather will be predominating over these parts this winter.
Not looking good, but you can be ready. Smart businesses rely on Air Comfort to keep them and their customers warm this expected frigid winter. Air Comfort is one of the largest commercial and industrial service groups in the Chicago area, with dedicated factory-trained technicians that take a scientific approach to analyzing your system. They have comprehensive year-round preventative maintenance programs and emergency service, plus design, build, and install equipment for new construction and retrofits of existing mechanical systems. Now is a great time to call Air Comfort and schedule an analysis of your company's mechanical system by their certified award-winning engineering team. Call 708-345-1900 or visit aircomfort.com. Air Comfort, providing the right climate for business since 1935.
Hey, do you need to sell your home now? Has it been on the market so long your listing expired? Well, I know the man who will absolutely sell your home now. It's Saul Z and the Z team, and he needs homes right now all over Chicagoland. Saul's database of thousands of buyers are looking for homes in the $250,000 to $750,000 range. Now, there's likely a buyer for you right now, but don't wait. On average, Saul sells a home every single day. No other agent sells your home quicker for more money. He's so confident he will sell your home, he offers, get this, a 59-day guarantee. List your home with Saul. If it's not under contract within 59 days, Saul sells it for free without his commission. Again, 59 days or he'll sell it for free. And Saul needs homes right now to sell. So call Saul, contact him at Saul Z. Call Saul, let me try that again. Contact Saul Z today at callsaul.net. That's callsaul.net, call SAUL.net, or you can call him at this number, 888-346-0666. That's 888-346-0666. And please tell Saul that I sent you. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Will Rexon have any trouble getting confirmed by the Senate? We'll ask Wisconsin Senator Ron Johnson at 8:38.
And Alan Thicke was more than just an actor. We'll explain. But first, into the newsroom we go. Here's Mike Scott.
Some clouds, 9 degrees. Syrian President Bashar al-Assad says Western countries want a ceasefire in the northern city of Aleppo in order to save what he calls terrorists. Syrian government's name for rebels there. Assad's comments, which aired on Russian television, came after government troops and allied militias all but captured the entire rebel-held enclave, breaking a ceasefire. Syrian activists say fighter jets resumed bombing raids over remaining rebel-held areas of eastern Aleppo today in spite of that declaration of a ceasefire. Former Texas Governor Rick Perry is Donald Trump's pick to be energy secretary. Meantime, the chairman of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee says there will be tough questions for President-elect Donald Trump's choice for Secretary of State Rex Tillerson in his dealings with Russia. IBM says it intends to hire about 25,000 workers in the U.S. over the next 4 years. Federal Reserve policymakers are expected to announce an interest rate hike of 0.25 percentage point when they wrap up their 2-day meeting today. A judge orders the city of Chicago to hold off on implementing a new home sharing ordinance. City Council signed off on a measure over the summer that places restrictions on homeowners renting living spaces out on companies like Airbnb. And charges are pending following an armed bank robbery in Skokie. Authorities say the robbery happened yesterday evening at a First Bank and Trust branch on Skokie Boulevard. A suspect was arrested following a foot chase. Timberwolves beat the Bulls 99-94. Blackhawks over the Rangers 2-1. The news service of Sam's Club. It's time for the holiday taste of Sam's. Hurry into your club and sample delicious party foods, plus find great savings. December 16th through the 18th from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. Join them for the holiday taste of Sam's Club. See Club for details. 8:34 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher will always tell it like it is.
He's blasted if he picks people who seem to be regular Washington insiders for his cabinet. And then he picks Ben Carson, the consummate outsider, to head up HUD. And big mouths like me say, well, you know, is Dr. Carson really a good fit? So here I am, part of the problem rather than the solution.
The Mike Gallagher Show. Weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Papa Nicholas Coffee. Papa Nicholas, great coffee, period.
Hey, Dan Proft here. Gentlemen, this time of year can be exhausting and stressful, but if you feel a lack of energy or motivation, no matter what time of year, it's time to get your testosterone levels checked. Stress is associated with low testosterone and can worsen symptoms like fatigue, trouble sleeping, and can affect your mood. I personally recommend going to Low T Center. They make it easy. You walk in, you take a simple blood test, and with the convenience of their on-site lab, you'll know your results in about 20 minutes. So if you're drinking coffee or energy drinks just to get you through the day, or if you always feel like you need a nap after lunch, you may have low T. Low T levels can make you feel tired and grumpy, raise your cholesterol, and cause weight gain. Low T Center accepts most health insurance and has flexible hours, including Saturdays. So don't hesitate to find out what your number is. I'm sure glad I did. Call my friends at Low T Center today and tell them Dan Prof sent you. The number is 630-409-4305. Call 630-409-4305. Again, the number 630-409-4305. Or go to lowtcenter.com.
It is 8:36. Let's check our roads in the AM 560 Traffic Center with Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. Traffic on the inbound Kennedy is packed solid from Austin to the Hubbard Tunnel. It is an hour and 19 minutes O'Hare to downtown. 49 minutes from Montrose, 30 in the Express, outbound 39 from downtown to O'Hare. Eden's 25 minutes, Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 28. The Eisenhower, an hour and 25 minutes from Thorndale to downtown, an hour 3 from Manheim. Outbound 38 minutes to Thorndale. Stevenson, an hour and 7 minutes. 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound 5. Ryan, 25 minutes. 95th to downtown. Lakeshore Drive. So southbound Bryn Mawr to North Avenue and 18th to the Stevenson. Northbound from the Stevenson to Jackson. Northbound Tri-State. Jam 95th to the Hinsdale Oasis. From the Reagan Tollway to North Avenue. Eastbound Adams Tollway slow busty to the Des Plaines Oasis. Reagan Tollway heavy. Rower Toll to 59 and Naperville to Yackley. Banner to Memorial. Bowden Toll to the Reagan Tollway and Army Trail to 290. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560. The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the aircomfort.com Weather Center. Sun and clouds, windy, high near 16, partly cloudy, windy and frigid, extreme cold overnight, low 4 below. It's currently 10 at O'Hare and 12 along Chicago's lakefront. Your next news update is at 9. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Illinois Lake County Right to Life. Visit LCRTL to make a donation or get involved.
AM 560, The Answer.
Well, all eyes were on Wisconsin last night. Donald Trump making his thank you tour. Did you see it, Dan? You had Scott Walker up there.
The Green Bay Packers jerseys were ubiquitous.
Oh, and the love for Paul Ryan.
Speaker Paul Ryan, I've really come to I've come to appreciate him.
People know.
Speaker Paul Ryan. Where's Speaker? Where is he? He has been, I'll tell you, he has been terrific. And you know, honestly, he's like a fine wine. Every day goes by, I get to appreciate his genius more and more.
Yes, no question. Well, for another earthy Cabernet, we're pleased to be joined by Wisconsin Senator Ron Johnson. Senator Johnson, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Morning, guys. How you doing?
Morning. So why don't we start with the whole Russia matter, the hacking and the hysterics from the Democrats that there should be a special investigation. Harry Reid, outgoing Senate Minority Leader, essentially suggesting that Comey conspired with Putin, conspired with the Trump campaign to deliver the election for Trump. And then you get the New York Times piece yesterday, investigative report that finds that, wait a second, the DNC and the president were notified of attempts by the Russians to hack into DNC networks months and months and months ago, and they chose to do nothing about it. So can you help us square the circle there?
Yeah, I was actually one of those members who was in the original secure briefing with 12 of us, where the FBI director and the Secretary of Homeland Security and Lisa Monaco were trying to assure everybody that there's not a problem with the electoral system. It's secure. It can't be hacked into to affect the results. And the main takeaway there, what they were trying to get everybody to get on board with, is reassure the American public that the election is going to occur. It's going to be legitimate. We can count on the results. Things have kind of changed since that point in time. I don't think they expected the result. So there's nothing shocking about the fact that Russia is hacking into email systems, or that, quite honestly, anybody hacks into email systems. It's an enormous problem. We've known about Russia's disinformation propaganda campaigns in Eastern Europe, throughout Europe and other countries. We know that countries, including China, our adversaries, our friends, everybody's trying to gather intelligence, so it's not shocking. And so this, I honestly do believe, is being blown out of proportion in terms of its effect on the election, but it's a serious problem. And I tell you what I'm most concerned about is the type of cyber warfare that, for example, shut down Eastern Ukraine's electrical grid. Those are serious issues. It's a top priority of my committee, and it's something that the next administration has to take very seriously.
Yeah, and those are cyber attacks that are a little bit more sophisticated than the phishing scheme that John Podesta apparently fell prey to, as we have in the case of the Podesta emails, at least according to this New York Times report. Do you agree with Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell that the Senate Intelligence Committee, chaired by North Carolina Republican Richard Burr, can handle the investigation into this Russian hacking matter, this specific one, in regular order, and we don't need a special select committee on this topic?
Well, to the extent extent that we have to protect, how we gather the information, that is the appropriate committee, the Intelligence Committee. But again, I'm chairman of the European Subcommittee as well as Homeland Security. We've held hearings on this. We know what Russia's activities are, so it's not a surprise to anybody.
Yeah.
And let's face it, the American public, before they went to the polls, knew, because everybody's saying that Russia hacked into the DNC, revealed those emails, alternate sources, including WikiLeaks. Nothing's been proven that it's been exactly Russia that, for example, sent it to WikiLeaks. So there's an awful lot of innuendo here, but the bottom line is nobody's really disputing that those emails that were leaked weren't true, that they were altered in any way, shape, or form. So
why didn't President Obama do more? Why was he sitting on his hands?
Because they felt they were going to win. And so they didn't really think it was much of an issue. Now they're doing exactly what they're accusing Donald Trump of doing, is trying to delegitimize the election result because they don't like the result.
Well, yeah, and
it's actually quite sad.
And in terms of leaked information, I know there's a lot of moralizing about the WikiLeaks stuff, but there was no problem that the left had with respect to, for example, the New York Times publishing a copy of some pages of Donald Trump's tax returns that were leaked to them, otherwise a private, non-foyable document. So, the kind of my morality changes with my interests, which is a signature of the left. With respect to President Obama, though, was part of this, there's some supposition that part of this was he was still trying to, in his own mind, massage the relationship with Russia. So he didn't want to take any public posture on the hacking because he was still trying, I guess, hoping against hope that he could affect a Russian withdrawal from Syria in terms of support for propping up the Assad regime.
Well, what you're describing now is how the press is all of a sudden understanding the dangers of Russia. Now that there's going to be a new administration, they're all of a sudden really showing the atrocity, the genocide occurring in Syria, because now it's going to be on Donald Trump's watch. And they're going to completely ignore the strategic blunders of historic proportions of this administration bugging out of Iraq, not doing anything to prevent the slaughter as it slowly built and then gained speed in Syria. So, no, President Obama's foreign policy has been an unmitigated disaster. It just hasn't been reported as such, which is why President Obama's approval ratings are still surprisingly high based on the disastrous results of his administration. So, no, I mean, Donald Trump is walking into a mess when it comes to foreign policy as well as our health care policy, domestic policy, an economy that's not performing. I don't envy the next president his task trying to clean up this mess created by President Obama.
We talked to Michael Rubin from the American Enterprise Institute earlier in the show today, and we asked him about the CIA, since the genesis of so much of this is that CIA report that was leaked to the Washington Post. And the question that some have alleged is the CIA politicized. Michael Rubin, who spent some time in the Pentagon, said unequivocally it is politicized. And there's a lot of evidence over the last decade, just in terms of some of the things that CIA honchos have said about politics that suggest as much. What's your opinion on the CIA, and is there a problem of politicization of intelligence?
My own personal belief is every government agency is politicized, because every government agency, like the private sector, wants to grow. And in order to grow, it wants to take more control and have jurisdiction over more and more areas of the American economy. And so it all becomes politics, and you have long-term serving bureaucrats. Oftentimes they are of the liberal persuasion, and so they certainly resist more conservative administrations. They look at every president as somebody who's just temporary. They're permanent, and so they're just going to wait them out. But they're very loyal to their own agencies and protective of it. And they want to keep growing the agencies so their own power and influence grows as well. So one of the reasons I'm not a big fan of government. I think you need to limit it. Our founding fathers knew that as well. It's just a basic dynamic. But my own guess is that most government agencies have a pretty liberal bias, and that's a real challenge for any conservative president.
Senator Ron Johnson, President-elect Trump's cabinet's almost complete, and I wanted to get your reaction to his nomination or appointing Secretary of State position. I know it needs Senate approval, House approval, but what do you think of Rex Tillerson?
First of all, let me just comment. I am been amazed at President-elect Trump's energy level, his activity level. I went through an arduous campaign in Wisconsin, He wants to do something even worse than that. I've had a couple days off. He hasn't taken any days off. I've been very impressed with his nominees, incredibly competent, incredibly experienced. I think that just describes Rex Tillerson right there. Again, I come from the private sector. In the private sector, you actually have to accomplish things day in and day out. Obviously, Rex Tillerson accomplished a lot, was very results-driven, results-oriented, traveled the world, did deals around the world, know not only government officials, but he knows the economies of these different countries. And it gives him an unbelievable experience base to be Secretary of State. And so, again, I haven't met him. I'm looking forward to meeting him in my office. I'm looking forward to confirmation hearings. I'm on the Senate Foreign Relations Committee. But I certainly give him the benefit of the doubt, and I'm somewhat puzzled at some of the reaction by some of my colleagues right now. He's an oil man. Oil's in Russia. He's obviously going to be doing some deals with the leaders of Russia. He didn't put them in place, but he's going to, in the end, I believe, probably be a patriot and follow the lead of President-elect Trump, who said he's going to put America first.
All right. He is Wisconsin Senator Ron Johnson. Senator Johnson, thanks as always for joining us. Appreciate it.
Have a Merry Christmas.
You too. Merry Christmas.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Connect with Dan and Amy using the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Oh, the Arctic blast has arrived, and it's only going to get colder before more snow returns. But details for today, we're going to have some sun, mostly cloudy skies, windier, wind chills near the single digits, a high of 16 degrees tonight. Oh, it begins dangerously cold. We have a wind chill advisory kicking in at 9 p.m. this evening, lasting all day tomorrow. Tonight, a low of -4, and tomorrow, a high of just 7. But if you factor in the wind chill, it'll feel anywhere between -20 to -30 degrees. So bundle up. Don't lick that flagpole, Dan. Now let's get the travel times. Here's Jim Telemonte.
Thanks, Amy. Tri-State southbound, it's jammed. Harlem to 111th. Crash blocking 3 right lanes. Northbound slow Archer to 31st, and from the Reagan Tollway to North Avenue. Eastbound Adams Tollway slow Bussy to the Des Plaines Oasis, then the Kennedy's brutal. An hour and 14 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. 46 minutes from Montrose, 37 in the Express. Up on 31 to O'Hare. Edens, 24 minutes either way between Lake Cook and the Junction. The Eisenhower, an hour and 26 minutes from Thorndale to downtown. Outbound 35 minutes. Stevenson, an hour and 7 minutes, 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound Fawn, Ryan, 23 minutes, 95 to downtown. That's traffic. AM 560, The Answer.
The website is upstream-ideas.com. Premium content that complements what we do here on this show. Long-form interviews with our Against the Current series featuring opinion makers and policy leaders, both at the local and the national level. We have commentaries that I write, as well as Follow the Logic, Man on the Street segments to see if Chicagoans can and highlight when they cannot. We podcast our Sunday Illinois Rising program done in conjunction with the Illinois Policy Institute, which focuses on state of Illinois politics and policy, and features selected interviews from guests on our Morning Answer program as well. It's all at upstream-ideas.com.
Townstone Financial is synonymous with great rates, low closing costs, and phenomenal service to the thousands who have completed purchases and refinances with us since 2002. Hi, my name is Barry Sterner, owner of Townstone Financial. Let's hear about the Townstone experience from one of our customers.
I'm Christopher Nowak, a real estate agent with Castline Properties here in Chicago. At the closing table, there's never any issues when I do a deal with Townstone Financial. All the documents have been sent in plenty of time. The buyer knows what they've got to do, what they need to bring to closing, what their responsibilities are. There's never any questions. And no matter how complex the deal or how difficult it was, the result at the end of the experience is that the customer is always happy with the service they receive.
Remember, nobody values your business more than Townstone Financial, and I'm always available to answer your questions. Call me now, Barry Sterner, at 312-896-2111. That's 312-896-2111. Or go to townstone.com. That's TOWNSTONE.com.
Townstone Financials, Indiana, Michigan, Wisconsin, Florida, Illinois, mortgage licensee 6629 and NMLS 136639, equal housing lender.
Hey, when you hear about wind chills, -20, don't you want to get out of town and go somewhere where it's warm? Well, join us in Punta Cana in the Dominican Republic in 2017. We'll be staying at the Secrets Cap Cana Resort and Spa. It's an unlimited luxury resort that opened in November. It has 5 gourmet restaurants, 7 bars, unlimited drinks, 24-hour room service. The resort has sparkling pools and access to pristine beaches. Ooh, thanks. I feel warm already. Join us in Punta Cana and have the vacation of a lifetime with us. Get more information and book your trip by visiting 560theanswer.com. Keyword passport. You know what, Dan? I heard that people are already purchasing their trips. Garrett, Carol, they bought their trip already. Can't wait to see them in 2017. So book your trip today. It's a great holiday gift, great Christmas gift, Hanukkah gift. Do it. Go to 560theanswer.com, keyword passport. That's 560theanswer.com, keyword passport.
I own a fast food restaurant that was broken into early this morning. They tore the alarm panel right off the wall, and alarm detection systems came in the same day to replace it.
Same-day service is available to all of our customers. Never worry about your security system. Get to know Alarm Detection Systems. ADS is an authorized Honeywell equipment dealer. Visit adsalarm.com or call 630-844-6300. Alarm license number 127000143.
I'm living alone for the first time in 40 years, and I'm worried something might happen to me.
Live independently with a medical alert device from Alarm Detection Systems. Setup is easy, and 24/7 emergency assistance monitoring is included. Alarm Detection Systems is an authorized Honeywell equipment dealer. Visit adsalarm.com or call 630-844-6300. Alarm license number 127000143.
AM 560, The Answer.
So awesome.
The Growing Pains remix with the little Robin Thicke. Yeah.
I'm very sad. We learned yesterday that the 69-year-old actor, songwriter, father of 3, ex-husband of 2,
Yes.
I'm sorry, passed away. He had a heart attack. He was playing hockey with his 19-year-old son, Carter, and wasn't feeling well. He had some tightness in his chest, so he took a break. They called an ambulance. He was talking. He was on the gurney, gave everybody the thumbs up, like, I'm okay here. And then he died. Once he in transport from...
Real sensitive.
I'm sorry. While he was being transported.
Nobody does an impersonation of Alan Thicke having a heart attack like Amy J.
He died, I guess, while being transported between, from the hockey rink in Burbank to the hospital.
In memoriam, and because of that outrageous insensitive impersonation, you can choose Facts of Life or Different Strokes, 2 of the sitcom themes composed by Alan Thicke. You can choose which one you would like to sing sing us out.
Oh, really?
Which one would you like to sing?
I would like to sing The Facts of Life, but also keep in mind he did compose the open to Wheel of Fortune. Now, if you can sing that.
Can't sing that one. We don't need you to hum. We want you to sing. We want to be availed of those pipes of yours.
What's this one? Oh, yeah. Oh, is this a karaoke version? Oh, wait. You take the good, you take the bad, you take them both, and there you have the facts of life. Dan, the facts of life. There's a time you gotta grow and show you growing.
Very pitchy.
About the facts of life. I don't know the words.
Mindy Cohn is spinning in her grave. Oh, wait, she's alive.
Never seems to be living up to your dreams, and suddenly you're finding out the facts of life are all about you.
I would like to apologize to Kim Fields and Lisa Welchel and Mindy Cohn and Charlotte Ray for that rendition of Facts of Life.
Well, he was just more than an actor. He was a composer. He was a talk show host. Remember that show he had?
Thick of the Night.
Yeah. And he also had a show in Canada from 80 to 83.
And
so
he had great hair.
I know.
And,
you're so jealous. You can't get over the hair.
You can't lose guys with great hair at the tender age of 69. I mean, what?
So what if we...
Because I, as a guy with great hair,
yeah,
I worry about that. What does that say for the future of guys like me with great hair?
What have we learned here? What have we learned from the sudden passing of one Alan Thicke?
Don't play hockey.
No. You guys need to get your hearts checked. Okay? All of you men out there are on notice. Don't end up like Alan Thicke.
Hear about the big stories of the day, then talk about them right here on Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Hey, you've heard how Automated Systems excels at assisting companies with systems